This is Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, the scene for ESPN's college football special. The Stanford Cardinal against the Buffaloes of Colorado. The 100th season of Colorado football was one for the ages. It saw the Buffaloes set down 11 straight opponents, capture a Big 8 championship, and for the first time ever play for the national title. That legacy has been passed down to the Buffaloes of 1990. This group has the potential to be an exceptional team, led by extraordinary talent. But an early season lesson has shown preserving the past is never easy. Now, against a difficult schedule, Colorado must prove it can sustain success. The Stanford Cardinal closed out Dennis Green's initial campaign, winning 2 of its final 3 games. That small taste of triumph is what Green will use to sculpt the future of the program. Youth prevails at Stanford, but so does a strong desire to win. And it seems only time stands in the way of a Cardinal comeback. Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, sold out for a home opener for the first time since 1972, and a crowd of more than 51,000 to see their Buffaloes take on Stanford. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick, and welcome to our Thursday night special. Stanford, coming off of a 3-8 season, will unveil a couple of outstanding running backs tonight. One a transfer from Oklahoma, the other from Miami. Very promising, but very young. It's my pleasure tonight to be working with Steve Davis. And Steve, I think young describes Stanford's football team altogether, but especially the defense.
Well, if there's a question mark about tonight's ball game, it's on the defense. And unfortunately for Stanford, it's 9 question marks. To 9, they will start 9 players either for the first time or that have changed positions. So the youth is predominant on the Stanford defense. What their real task tonight is, and real challenge is to be able to really put the pressure on the running attack of Colorado. And they're going to try to put 9 men against the run. So this young defense, Mike, has got to grow up really quick if they've got a chance to win.
Colorado, of course, will be trying to win Big 8 championships back-to-back for the first time ever, and in the process, they're trying to throw the football more.
Well, the Orange Bowl experience, losing the national championship to Notre Dame, taught them that they've got to be able to throw, or at least have more balance and be committed to it. So that puts the pressure on an option quarterback. Darian Hagan is the best option quarterback in America. If he produces the same stats that he had last year, he'll be the best that's ever run the option play. But the real pressure on him is to throw passes and do things that he's really not designed for. So the pressure is to
be leading the Colorado Buffaloes. They have not lost a regular season game since 1988. And here's the Stanford Cardinal, 3-8 a year ago, but optimistic enough to believe they can make it to a bowl game this season. We'll be back with a kickoff. Stanford and Colorado from Boulder. Sold out Folsom Field for Stanford against Colorado. Colorado 0-1. They tied Tennessee a week ago. Stanford opening the season. The weather conditions, it is absolutely perfect here in Boulder, and we expect it to stay that way, although there is a slight chance of rain. During the toss of the coin ceremony, Eric Bieniemy was going absolutely nuts on the sideline. He did not get to play last week against Tennessee. Steve, he can't wait.
Well, Bill McCartney says the key to Eric Bieniemy and what he means to this team is his emotion, the power that he gives the team in terms of his leadership, and that's as important as his physical skills that he contributes.
McCartney now with a 15-year contract, starting his 9th year. He says it means he can do things for the future and not necessarily make decisions based on tomorrow. And Dennis Green trying to build the same kind of program that Bill McCartney has at Colorado. This is only his 2nd year at Stanford. He has some outstanding young players, but what a baptism tonight to play at Colorado. Stanford won the toss. They will receive to start the ball game. Steve, if you were Stanford, would you rather start on offense or defense in this game?
Well, they feel like they've got to really control the football and really keep that offense of Colorado off the field. So they want to really establish themselves, the running attack, and the things that they do well. The best way to stop Hagan, keep him on the sidelines.
Jim Harper will handle the kickoff duties. And deep to receive, Kevin Scott, number 3, and Glenn Milburn, number 5. Milburn, the outstanding sophomore, the transfer from Oklahoma, where he was projected as a starter. Let's see if they get a chance to return it against a strong-legged Harper. And we are underway in Boulder. 4 yards deep, and Kevin Scott will bring it out. Across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. And now for tonight's die-hard starting lineups. Jason Columbus, the starter 2 years ago, opens at quarterback. Milburn and Roberts, both transfers, the running backs. Pinckney and Walsh, the wide receivers tonight. Bauer, the tight end, out of St. Louis, Missouri. Chris Dahlman, the center. The guards, Cassidy and Gillingham. And the tackles, potential All-American Whitfield and Darren Baird. 1st and 10 for the Cardinal at their own 21-yard line. They're in the eye with Milburn, the deep man. And Milburn gets the first call. Slithers forward out near the 25-yard line following the block of Ellery Roberts. We'll take a look at that Colorado defense. Steed, the nose man. Renfro and Howe are the tackles. The inside linebackers, Beekert and Brown, the outside linebackers, both All-Americans. Williams and Canavis McGee, they are something else. McLuhan and Figures the corners, and the safeties, James and Thomas. This is the fullback, Ellery Roberts, projected as a starter as a sophomore at Miami. And when you have guys projected as starters at Miami and Oklahoma, you really have something. Leonard Renfro made the tackle. Of course, both had to sit out last year after transferring, of course. Milburn shuttling back into the lineup. You can almost expect when Milburn is in there, they're going to run the ball.
Well, they're very much committed to the run at Stanford, which is atypical. Who would have thought in the 90s that Colorado would be trying to throw and Stanford try to run?
3rd down, 3 yards to go. Columbus to throw. Likes the short passing game. Throws complete to his tight end, Turner Bauer. And they got the first down up around the 35-yard line. They call this the 49ers offense. Really, it's the Stanford offense because Bill Walsh put it in when he was there.
What they really do, they don't look for big plays necessarily. They just pick at you short stuff, and really Bauer makes the catch in the coverage, but the point is they just keep picking and picking, and then they pick their opportunity for making something big happen, and something will bust.
Chad Brown initially missed the play, and Renfro had to come from behind to make the tackle. Roberts the sole setback man. Columbus to Milburn out of the backfield. Avoids one tackle, but then dragged down. Nice job by Dave McLuhan, whose dad, Kent, was a fair to middling defensive back for a few years with Oakland.
What Stanford wanted to do offensively early in the ball game is create a lot of different formations for Colorado to look at. Colorado is a physical, experienced, mature defensive football team, so they want to take away or neutralize some of that strength. Give them a lot of formations, do a lot of short stuff, and keep them off balance where they can't really get into their full defensive attack.
Go with 3 wide receivers, Pinckney, Batson, and Walsh on the field, and split the backs. Roberts and Milburn. Columbus, quick count to Walsh, wide open. Midfield to the Colorado 44-yard line. Hit from behind by Deon Figures. 19-yard gain and a nice touch by Columbus, who unloaded in a hurry.
19 Bickert is the outside Larry's linebacker. He's got to make a play and get there. No one is there. Also, Greg Thomas was out of position, and that's why on that quick passing game they found him right across the middle. Columbus able to find, that's a quick, easy hit. Doesn't take a lot of pass defense, or excuse me, a lot of line play, just to make a quick 1-2-3s to throw.
Walsh is in there because Ed McCaffrey, who was the leading receiver a year ago, has back spasms and is unable to play tonight. Milburn outside. Got down to about the 37-yard line. Figures again coming up from the corner, got a piece of him. But you can see that Milburn has some speed.
fullback has to be able to make the block. Watch Ellery Roberts, 33. There he is right there making the block, causing him to turn around. That's Williams, 94. And then Milburn is able to make an inside move and then out. Boy, that's the talent that Stanford really has lacked over the years. They've always been known for great quarterbacks, but it's been that running attack that they've lacked. And Dennis Green says, we're committed to it. We're going to make something happen. You cannot be one-dimensional in college football any longer.
Turner Bauer, the starting tight end, is going to have to be helped off the field. We are in Boulder, Colorado. We have played 3 minutes of the first quarter, and it has been all Stanford so far. Number 93 checks into the ball game, John Carpenter, who is listed as a tackle, but they will put a 93 jersey on him and send him in as a tight end. Also in there, Paul Nickel, number 88, who has not caught a pass for this ball club, has come in. Mike Patrick along with Steve Davis. Glad you could join us on a Thursday night from Boulder. If Stanford can keep its offense going like this, we could have quite a ball game coming your way. Roberts fumble. Colorado recovers. Williams comes up with the recovered fumble as Ellery Roberts coughed it up. Had a big hole. It looked like somebody just reached out and stripped him of the football.
Joel Steed, 93, the nose guard, will strip the ball away from Roberts. Stanford cannot afford, they don't have the talent to match up with Colorado. They cannot afford to make mistakes. They have to play near perfect football, and there they turned it over. Great play by Joel Steed, 93, a strong nose guard. Made an excellent play.
Stanford will load up on first down, telling Colorado that it will try to stop the run. The enemy, the deep man, and the power ons. The enemy gets the call, and they stack him up in the backfield. Ron George, number 29, got there first as this gambling Stanford defense creates a loss on first down. Here is the offense for Colorado. Hagan, just a brilliant performance last year. Bieniemy and Hemingway are the running backs. Simmons is the wingback. The wide receiver, Mike Pritchard, who played tailback a week ago. Bowman, the tight end. Lewinberg is the center out of Kirkwood, Missouri. The guards, Garton and Heasley, excellent players. Solomon Vanderpool, a veteran, big offensive line. Hagan on the roll. Brought down again as he tried to cut it back. Dan Byers, number 55, the inside linebacker, makes the stop and will create a 3rd and long for Colorado. Busalachi is the nose man. Avila and Batson are the defensive tackles. Tunney and Byers, Tunney the leading tackler last 2 years, the inside backers. George and Garnett, the outside men. The corners, Goodwin, Scott, and Richardson. The safeties, Klein and Albert. 3rd and long, Hagan faked the pass, now goes on the run. Nice defensive play that time by Ron George again, who makes his 2nd tackle in 3 plays. And while they say they want to run more or pass more, obviously Hagan took one quick look and then went.
Well, that's true, and I think that's okay. Colorado's a great running football team. I think they have to establish the run and then work in and gradually get into the passing attack. Play action passes, then do the more exotic things that they want to put into their system.
Tom Ruin, a consensus All-American, will punt to Milburn. Ruin had an off week against Tennessee, only averaged 41 yards a kick. This one went 41 yards high. Milburn. Both teams have had the football once. For Colorado, it was 3 plays and out. Stanford racked up 50 yards on an impressive-looking drive before Ellery Roberts fumbled the football. So initially, at least, the Cardinal was able to do what it wanted to do. J.J. Lastly, number 26, is the halfback in this formation, and he'll get the carry on the delay. Across the 30 to about the 31 following the block of Roberts, and Gary Howe, number 95, tripped him up.
Joel Steed, number 93, the nose guard, is a very talented player. Chuck Gillingham, 62, and also the center, Dowman, 52, gets him out of the play. Not all that impressive, but they kept him away from the play in terms of making it, even being close to making the tackle.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. Columbus wanted to unload it in a hurry, now has to scramble and throws it away. Had Walsh and Pinckney as wide receivers. Columbus, of course, fell to the 4th on the depth chart a year ago, and Coach Denny Green didn't even know he had shoulder problems because Columbus never complained about it. Finally had shoulder surgery. It had bothered him since high school. In '88, he had been the starter, but he just lost all the zip on his arm, Steve, and that you can't have that.
No, he really didn't, but he's not a strong arm thrower, but he's accurate, and that time he showed his intelligence. He didn't have it on the right timing, and he threw it away. Keep him out of a bad play.
3rd and 7. 4-man rush, Columbus in trouble, scrambles out of it, hits Walsh. Midfield and more. Horse collared at the 45-yard line by Greg Thomas, starting only his 2nd game, a gain of 25. And Walsh has hit a couple of big plays in the 1st period.
Great job by Columbus, the quarterback. He moved away from the pressure. They've got 5 defensive backs in the ball game for Colorado, and he finds the open man Walsh. Normally a backup starting tonight. Doesn't have a great speed, but tremendously intelligent on the field. Knows where the people are and makes a big play for a 1st and 10.
Stanford possibly surprising the Colorado defense. 2 fullbacks in right now, Roberts and Bardell. Roberts got to about the 43-yard line, stopped by the center of the defense, led by Greg Biekert. Was an outside linebacker a year ago, had 13 tackles against Tennessee.
One of the big concerns that Stanford had tonight coming to the ball game is whether or not this finesse game, this pick, then big play, if it would work against Colorado. So far, it's gone just the way they wanted it to.
The offensive coaches have to be standing on the sideline and up in the booth with grins from ear to ear.
And Stanford desperately needs success early in the ball game.
Columbus sends Roberts out of the backfield, makes the grab, gets down to the 37-yard line. Tackled from behind again by Biekert, who was following him out of the backfield. Alfred Williams also in on the play. Biekert out of Longmont, Colorado. A lot of players on this club come out of California, especially the Los Angeles area.
I think that may be to the biggest credit of Mike, to Bill McCartney, to be able to recruit the players, the type of talent that he has to come to Boulder, Colorado.
I think you're right, Steve. It's 3rd and 3. Milburn is back in, and he comes out of the backfield. Columbus looks for him, throws behind, and Milburn can't hold it. Milburn was open, but Columbus under pressure from Williams unloaded in a hurry and missed.
What Colorado did that time, they came with a blitz, but it was Alfred Williams, number 94, the outside linebacker, that got his hand on Columbus, and that caused him to throw off balance and really didn't have time to get set and make a good throw.
Paul Stonehouse on to punt. Line of scrimmage to 37. McLuhan is deep, but he won't get a chance as Stonehouse kicks it into the end zone. A 37-yard punt, no return, but only a net of 17. Still scoreless, 1st period, 7:35 on the clock. Later and say, what if he decided to punt from the 37-yard line? Would have been a 54-yard field goal attempt, and his kicker has that distance. But I think right now, Steve, he is more concerned about field position than he is 3 points.
You've got to play sound, fundamental football. Make them go 80 yards. Don't give them a shorter distance to go for a score.
They'll stop the play as there was movement early. And the Stanford defense really swarming. We have a split crew of officials. This is Dean Kramer out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, Big 8 official.
Dead ball.
How come these microphones never work? What is this? It's a guarantee. That's a 5-yard penalty that'll put the ball back near the 15-yard line, make it 1st and 15. Bieniemy now the single setback as they go with 2 wide receivers. Bieniemy found a seam up the middle across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. And this kid is just a tremendous athlete.
what Stanford really felt like. They had to stop the run. They want to force Colorado to throw the football. They want to make Colorado prove that they can throw it. There are 9 guys up on the line of scrimmage, 2 basically in the secondary, and 1 all of them, 8, 9 guys in the line committed to stopping the run to force Colorado to throw the football.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Back to the power formation. Hagan, the pitch to the enemy. Look how well Stanford covered it. Garnett, the linebacker, was just waiting for the pitch and made the tackle. To the wishbone, as you were saying, is to keep them in long yardage situation. Look at the success they had last year. 4 yards or less, it was almost a gimme. 5 yards or more, they hardly ever got it.
Well, you look at a 3rd down success ratio, but the real success of option football is on that 1st down, and that's what Stanford has been able to do very successfully. Give them 2nd and long in every drive they've had so far in the game.
3rd and 12. The fullback Hemingway goes to a wing. Good protection, only a 2-man rush, really. The pass behind Pritchard and incomplete. Pritchard, who ran as a tailback last week, he gained 217 yards, goes back to his wide receiver spot, and Hagan just missed it.
Don't doubt the ability of Darian Hagan to throw the football. He's got a strong live arm. He's just not done it enough, not enough repetition. And Pritchard, there's no reason for him to drop that ball. He was open, he needed to make the adjustment, needs to make those kind of catch.
Ruin to punt, and Milburn waits at his own 33-yard line. They think Milburn will contribute the most on this team in open field situations like this. Ruin crushes one. Milburn from the 26. Got a chance. 1 man to beat. Goodbye. Milburn, 74 yards. Oh, and they'll mark it down at the 1-foot line. Holy cow. Tim James, the safety, saved the touchdown.
Just the kind of kick you want to be able to return, and Colorado's really had to work on their kicking game aspects. They pride themselves in their punting game, but Milburn uses his tremendous speed, gets the same Colorado spread out, and just almost got into the end zone.
Oh, James diving full length of his body, just got a piece of an ankle, and Milburn crashes at the 1. 1st and goal from a foot out. Volpe and Bardell are the running backs. Quarterback sneak. Touchdown. So far, Stanford has done everything, Steve Davis, that they told us they had hoped to do. Everything.
They have been able to execute, and a team like Stanford that is really at a talent differential with Colorado. Colorado's got more talent, but they're in the end zone. All he's got to do is break the plane with the ball, but they've got to play smart, intelligent football, and you think Stanford can do that.
Yeah, you would see if anybody can. Hopkins will go for the point after. And the Stanford Cardinal takes a surprise 7-0 lead over the number 6 team in the nation, the Buffaloes of Colorado. First quarter of his career at Stanford, and Glenn Milburn turns in a great punt return, 74 yards, got down to the 1-foot line and set up the Stanford touchdown. It's something you do not do to Colorado. Look at their ranking in the NCAA in net punting. They have been, the lowest they've been in 5 years is 3rd. They don't give up returns like that. But then they don't face Milburn every day either.
Well, now they face some great backs in Colorado, I promise you that.
Yeah.
But really, Colorado does pride themselves in their punting ability and their return and the kicking game aspects of the game.
There's a couple of other guys on the return team for Colorado who could do it as Hopkins got set to kick off. Pritchard and Bieniemy. Dangerous people in this ball game on kick returns. Hopkins in practice was kicking 62-yard field goals. And he had room to spare, so we may see something later tonight. Bieniemy 6 yards deep. He'll down it there. Colorado will have to start from its own 20-yard line. Now, if you're Colorado, Steve, What are you thinking about on offense? You've been stuffed 2 series in a row by this gambling, blitzing defense.
Well, it's too early in the ball game to panic. They're not going to panic. They're a veteran team. They have excellent offensive linemen, backs, all the things. They just need to stay with their game plan and gain a little confidence. Their strong suit is their running game, and they've got to be able to establish a little bit more credibility and a little bit more success on their first down plays. Run the option, do some things that Darian Hagan can do, Eric Benamy can do.
The enemy is the single setback as Hemingway, the fullback, number 22, goes to a wing. Straight hand off to Bieniemy, lost the football. Stanford recovers at the 20. Holy cow. Stanford, a team last year that had only 13 turnovers, number 2 in the country. They have already had 6 this year in 5 quarters. Dave Garnett made the recovery. And Ron George was the guy who knocked it loose.
Colorado is not good enough to win on talent alone. They've got to be able to execute. Execution will win games, and it will get you beat. Ron George is able to make strip the ball away and cause Stanford excellent field position, turn it, give you emotion, all the things you want if you're Stanford.
Remember what Bill McCartney said to us last year? We got all the breaks. The ball bounced up to us. You never know whether you're going to have that kind of luck, that kind of chemistry in the next year. Milburn, the tailback in the eye. Bardell, the up man. Milburn gets the call, breaks it outside. Picks up 9 yards down to the Colorado 11-yard line, and some of the natives are getting a little restless. Colorado came in as a 3-touchdown favorite. If you didn't know which team was dressed in which uniform, you'd swear it was the guys in white, and that's Stanford.
Milburn is a big league talent as a running back. He has all the moves to play in any great running attack in the country. The hips movement, the speed, the power. He's an open field runner, and he is dangerous. He is a threat. He's 3 carries for 19 yards just rushing the football.
Volpe and Fardell, the running backs, on 2nd and 1. Volpe, he cuts it outside to the 5 and pushed out of bounds. What's unusual about this is being able to get outside of linebackers like Williams and McGee. I mean, these guys are All-Americans, great players, and Stanford's done it 3 or 4 times already.
Well, Stanford's giving them a lot of formations. They're mixing it up, their short passing game, and they're really reducing Colorado's package of what they can bring to the party. So that's why they're able to have success inside and then all of a sudden jump outside on big play. You've got your outside linebackers guessing, thinking, looking inside, thinking outside. They're confused. They're trying to play good fundamental defense, and Stanford's taking advantage of it.
1st and goal from the 4. Volpe as a whole got inside the 2. Volpe started the first 2 games last year, but he had some injuries, knee and some others. In '88, he was first team All Pac-10, had over 1,000 yards rushing, finally healthy again.
Chris Dahlman, the center for Stanford's doing an excellent job eliminating Joel Steed, the nose guard. And also watch Volpe be able to react to that block and move on the cutback play. You've got an aggressive Colorado defense. They're under pressure. They're making quick movements. And then Stanford's being able to cut back and just play off of the direction the Colorado defense is headed.
2nd and goal inside the 2. They set up in the eye. Roberts, the short man. Bardell, the deep man. Bardell to the goal line, touchdown. And how quiet can 51,463 people be? They're stunned.
Aren't you?
Yeah. Well, somebody asked me earlier today, what do you think? Is it going to be a close game? And I said, well, you can look at it 2 ways. Stanford's got all these good young kids. Gee, they come out and play a great game, or they can get blown away. It looks like they've come out to play a great game. Hopkins, who has kicked 60 consecutive, make that 55 consecutive point after. Makes it 56. Going for a school record, which is 59.
One of the pressure points for Colorado defensively is their inside linebackers, Beekert and Chad Brown. This time, Ellery Roberts, 33, will block Chad Brown, 34, right there. That gives Ardell the chance to power and get over the block into the end zone. Those linebackers have to step up, be somebody, make the hit right there. He missed him. And also, that was McLuhan also that missed the tackle.
A long punt return and a recovered fumble have set up the 2 touchdowns, but keep in mind, It just hasn't been breaks for the Stanford Cardinal because the first time they got the ball, they drove into Colorado territory before they fumbled. They have moved the ball every time they've touched it.
Yeah, Stanford has run exactly what they wanted to do. They've been very successful. They only stopped themselves at one time on the fumble. They've been able to execute and run their game. Now Colorado's in a little bit different posture. They're going to have, by the situation of 14-0, they're going to get to see if they can throw the ball.
Of course, they are coming off a game against Tennessee where they had a lead and lost it in the fourth quarter, ended up in a 31-31 tie. Bieniemy and Pritchard are deep. Hopkins to kick away. Got all of it again. This one might go to Denver. Colorado will have to start from its own 20 again. Vardell caps off the short 21-yard drive. It only took 4 plays and a minute 34 off the clock. And the heavy underdog Stanford Cardinal is leading number 6 Colorado 14-0. And Colorado, the option team, this great rushing attack so far has 5 yards. Stanford, the pass-happy West Coast school that decides it's going to run, has 49 in the first period. Bieniemy, the deep man. He gets the call. Whoa. Looked like Tyler Batson and Busalachi. What a shot he took.
That time they went with a loaded backfield, their eye-bone look, and Stanford's really concentrating on stopping that run. 9 men up front of the line on first down plays. That is the key to stopping option football. Load them up, make them go 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8 on a situation, and that's exactly what Stanford's been able to accomplish.
Well, if that's the key to stopping the option, doesn't the reverse side work? Do you have to throw on first down, or do you take yourself out of your game? 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Hagan on the option. There's the seam. Across the 40, Richardson trying to cut him off. He and Scott do. You can't stop that kind of talent in this offense forever. And the corners had to chase down Darian Hagan after a gain of 35. Fans finally have something to cheer about.
Stanford realized coming into the ball game that Hagan would have big plays, and because of the aggressive defensive style, great block by Hemingway, the fullback, to break him into the secondary. Now the pressure on this young defense is to respond. After they give up a big play, do they give up another one? That was the concern of the defensive coaches coming into the ball game. Colorado would have or will have success tonight. Stanford just has to react and keep back into their game.
Oh, you're right. Denny Green said they will get some big plays. Hopefully they'll be 20 to 35 yards and not to 75 and 80 yards.
Yeah, when you've got 9 men on the line and you're trying to stop the run, there's going to be natural seams created, and this guy, Hagan, can take advantage of you and really hurt you.
And he was such a question mark last year. Had to come in and play when Salinesi was diagnosed as having inoperable cancer, and he just shocked everybody in Colorado, the Big 8, and the rest of the country. They just had a tremendous performance. One of only 6 players to ever rush and pass for over 1,000 yards in the same season. First time Colorado has done anything on offense. They go back to the power formation for the Stanford 44. Bieniemy. Chased outside, pushed out of bounds. Good job by Albert Richardson, who fought off a block, maintained his leverage, and he and Sayon Albert shoved him out of bounds.
You can't say enough about the way Stanford's defensive coaches have prepared this football team. They wanted to force Darian Hagan the ball out of his hands. They wanted to make him pitch the ball. Then they string it out. Hagan's not reading the option all the way through, so he's looking to pitch the ball that the seam's not there. Stanford's quick, reacting, and running the sidelines and forcing the play east and west rather than giving a chance to go north and south.
Gary Taylor into the Stanford secondary as Richardson limped out. Hagan may have gone the wrong way and just ducks on this one and goes down at the 45-yard line. There's also a flag down on the play. Everybody went left. Hagan started right, and I don't think it was that play that's part of the option package where you start the wrong way.
It was a slow reacting quarterback keep.
Holding on the offense.
I think sometimes, Mike, when you had a great year as a quarterback and your first year as a starter, you have a tendency to push. You want to create an ability or a level of play equal to what you had last year. And it's just Darian Hagan's got to be able to back off and just play his own game, not put all the pressure on himself, because he'll make mistakes. That was a mental mistake. He did start the wrong way and then realizes where he's got to go. So don't put all the pressure on Darian Hagan, and don't take it from the quarterback.
They decline the penalty. They'll take the loss on the play, which will make it 3rd and 9. Stanford will play a lot of man-to-man defense on the corners. Bieniemy, the single setback. Here comes the blitz. Screen to Bieniemy. Perfect call. Bieniemy down to the 30-yard line. Usilachi dragged him down from behind, but this will be called back by a clip. It was very obvious on the screen and happened right in front of the official. It was a great call against the blitz, though. And there was no doubt about the clip.
King on the offense.
So this turns a big gain in a 1st down into 3rd and a mile.
Lewinberg, number 52, the center, he will make the clip. Watch him right there. There he's on the back. There's the clip, very clear. Obviously, the damage is it's a big play offensively that's negated by the penalty. But again, it gives the quarterback, Hagan, a little bit more confidence throwing. He's got to be able to throw a variety of different passes, and any way they can give him confidence, they need to give it to him, and right now. And so the screen pass was the ideal play call.
And Lewinberg really distinguished himself in the Orange Bowl. Did a great job against Zorich of Notre Dame.
They really expect him to project him to be a great player before his career is completed here at Colorado.
They're loaded with All-Americans along that offensive line, but now it's 3rd and 27. Hagan airs it out. Has a man out there. He's got Rico Smith, number 86, makes the grab, a gain of 25, and it will bring up a 4th and 2. And on 3rd and 27, how do you get that wide open?
It's unbelievable. Stanford only had a 2-man rush. They dropped everybody else. 9 men dropped. Watch the rush. There's only 2 men, and yet they give Rico Smith 86, 2-minute cushion. Great throw by Hagan to show that he does have strength and ability in his arm. He's not just an old wishbone quarterback trying to throw.
And John Bowman, the tight end, was wide open down the middle, too. You had to wonder where all the Stanford defenders were. 4th and 2, they'll go for it. Bieniemy is the deep man behind Hemingway. Bieniemy. Oh, it all depends on the spot. Dave Garnett, number 42, came from the right linebacker spot to make the tackle. Gambled by McCartney, and they will have to measure for it. That's not Ralphie. That's more like a souvenir you take home. McCartney, who just did a tremendous job building this program up and hopes to maintain this level. Here's the measurement. Stanford indicates they didn't get it, and they didn't. The Cardinal, blessed here in the 1st period. They have played outstanding football. 2:35 to go in the quarter. They take over on downs. Bill McCartney can't believe it, and neither can 51,000 people. And maybe if you look over at the Stanford sideline, a couple of guys are pinching themselves over there. Mike Patrick and Steve Davis with you from Boulder, Colorado. 14-0 Stanford. If you just joined us, the Cardinal has dominated this game from the very beginning. Milburn cut into trouble that time. Steed, the noseband, was there along with Canavis McGee, the right outside linebacker. Milburn so quick trying to get to those holes.
We've been talking about Dowman, the center, number 50, working on Joel Steed. That time, Steed really stayed after him and really took the play to Dowman, backed him up, played off the block, and was able to make the tackle.
McGee, one of 4 finalists for the Butkus Award last year, slow by an ankle injury, still had over 100 tackles. Columbus, pumped fake, in trouble, dumps it to Milburn, wanted to run before he caught the ball and dropped it. Milburn wide open, and a good job by Columbus, who's made some excellent decisions in this game. And Milburn just dropped it.
Part of the mechanics of the Stanford offense is to be able to throw on time and in sequence. He wants to throw right there, bang, he can't. Now he's got to find the open receiver, and anytime you get him into that, out of that sequence, then he's going to be throwing off balance and in movement. That time he was not able to get set. Boy, you should catch that ball, Glenn Milburn.
And if I was Columbus, I'd say something when he came back, because McGee unloaded.
Well, that's a little discussion in the huddle, I promise you.
3rd and 10. Four-man rush. Time for Columbus. Dumps it to Milburn. This kid is a real weapon. Into Colorado territory at the 49, first down. Chad Brown, the linebacker, had to make the tackle after a gain of 16.
When Stanford had Darren Lewis, they were able to really create some opportunities for them. Or Darren Nelson. Watch this time. Just find Glenn Milburn. Give him the football. Get him in his hands either way by handing it off, throwing it to him, and he just has that tremendous ability, quickness, legs. He could put any jersey on in the country that runs the football, and he could contribute.
Well, when they isolate him on a linebacker, it's a little unfair to the linebacker. Beaker didn't stand a chance. Lastly checks in with Roberts in the backfield. Roberts will get the carry, hammer straight ahead. Not much there as Gary Howe out of Spencer, Iowa was waiting for him.
Part of the problem for the Colorado defensive coaches was to convince them that Stanford had a running attack. They've not seen either Roberts or Milburn on film in preparation. This is Stanford's opener, so it was really frustrating because you just immediately think Stanford's going to throw the football, and they were real concerned about how they would react to the kind of speed and the kind of backs that they would see tonight. Coaches are a little smarter than players, I guess.
At least that's what the coaches tell the players.
That's what they always told me.
2nd and 9. Straight four-man rush. Columbus with time again. Now he has to scramble. Dumps it to Lastly, and he'll get a couple out of it. Excellent decisions by Jason Columbus. He's only missed 3 passes tonight. 2 of those were dropped. The third maybe should have been caught.
Part of the suspicions of Stanford's offensive line was the right side, Gillingham and Baird. Watch Darren Baird, 68. He loses 94 Williams. Now watch him. He comes back and makes a block the second time, a second effort play to give him a chance to complete the pass.
They acknowledged the left side of their line with Whitfield over there. The 300-pounder was the strength, and that's where they'd run when they had to. And Stanford letting the clock run down. That is the end of the first quarter from Boulder, Colorado. And the Stanford Cardinals stunning the heavily favored Buffaloes 14-0. Ready to start the second period. And Stanford has the football again. The Cardinal with a 3rd and 6 from the Colorado 45. What we are seeing so far has been unbelievable. Batson, the only wide receiver, comes to the right side. Columbus wants Milburn, and he's sacked by Alfred Williams. And then McGee. Williams got there first, the senior out of Houston, Texas. The all-time leader in sacks for this club. He had 10.5 a year ago, #1 in the Big 8.
2 things happen. First, there is a great effort by the defensive backs. Hamilton, #6, and Figures, #2. Those receivers are covered. Watch the pressure now applied. They're getting the quarterback out of sequence. He's in trouble. He can't throw it on time, and he's got to move. And there they are, McGee and Williams.
Really the first time the Colorado defense has done much. Stonehouse punting. McLuhan lets it go. The ball will go into the end zone. So with 14-17 to go in the second quarter, Colorado may have finally developed some momentum, and they'll get to start from their own 20-yard line. You knew they wouldn't be silent forever, offensively or defensively. This is the 6th-ranked team in the nation, and they deserve that ranking. They have some outstanding football players.
It's about now that Colorado is trying to decide. The question mark has been, what is Colorado's offense? And they still are committed to trying to throw the football, but they've got to get to their ability to run the football right now, establish something in the running game.
They need to be committed to get a couple first downs. Hagan on the option. Stanford strings it out. Hagan can't go anywhere. Gets maybe a half yard. Caught from behind by John O'Tunney. the leading tackler the last 2 years.
Two outstanding efforts by Stanford defenders. Dave Garnett, the outside backer, number 42, and John O'Tunney, 95. Garnett's the one that strings it out, number 42, and that gives Tunney the ability to make the play inside. But great fanatical effort by the sophomore, number 42, Tunney. Excuse me, Tunney 95 and Garnett's 42, but both of them really make tremendous plays to string out the option play.
Second down, call it 9. Hagan with a quick pitch this time to Bieniemy. Nice block by Simmons, and Bieniemy in the open field, cut down at the 39-yard line. Michael Simmons, the wingback, threw a whale of a block to get him loose.
Watch 24, Ton Von Lee, number 24. He gets blocked. Great effort by Simmons, 42, to make that block, and then Bieniemy's able to turn inside. If you're going to force your quarterback to pitch the ball quickly, then you've got to be able, if your safeties, they've got to be able to react to start and be out there for the option play and the pitch play. That time, Van Lee was not there to make the play on Bieniemy.
The fullback Hemingway also got an excellent block. Bieniemy trying the middle. Usalachi tripped him up, and then he was covered by Sion Albert. Bieniemy was so destroyed by the fumble he made in the Orange Bowl last year. The one you may remember, he was in the open field, shifting the ball from one hand to another and fumbled it. He got a blow up of the photograph and put it on the wall in his room. I mean, it just won't go away.
It certainly won't go away on his wall.
9 carries, 35 yards tonight.
Do you put your biggest mistakes in the blow-up picture on the wall, generally?
I don't have room. Fullback Hemingway, he'll get a couple. There is a flag down on the play. Tunney again on the stop. Leading tackler last 2 years. And here's the call.
Good ball. False start. And the offense.
And Colorado has made the most mistakes in the penalty department, too. If you joined us late, you missed some fireworks. Stanford leading 14-0 over the number 6 team in the nation. And it hasn't been a fluke. They have dominated them offensively and defensively. Only a couple of times have the Colorado Buffaloes been able to do anything on offense. Second down, now 13. Hagan straight back. Complete to Hill coming out of the backfield across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Albert and Garnett on the tackle. They're using the fullback more in the Colorado offense as a pass receiver this year.
Stanford went 9 men up trying to stop the run, 1 back offense. James Hill, this is the quarterback ability of Darian Hagan. He really does have a strong arm. That time he set up, good composure, good strike, good throw and catch. Single coverage. But do not think future opponents of Colorado, that Darian Hagan can't throw the ball. He's got the arm. He just hasn't used it enough.
3rd and a yard, and Hagan is wrapped up as they decide to run the option instead of going up the middle. And what a great play. George and Van Lee were in the backfield. Hagan never had a chance, and he was smothered. Well, they're run blitzing, gambling on almost every down, and it's certainly paying off. Ruin will come in, and Milburn, who had a 74-yard return that set up a touchdown, is waiting at his 15-yard line. And Stanford has 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Ruin, a beautiful high floater. Milburn signals fair catch and then lets it go. Will they kill it? No. Just made the end zone. So nothing going right for Colorado that time. A punt of 57, but it will come out to the 20. BN College Football Special, Stanford versus Colorado, is brought to you by Jeep. There's only one Jeep. And by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be. Stanford leading 14-0 over Colorado in the offense, talking it over on the sideline. They've had a good pass play and a couple of big runs, Steve, but it hasn't amounted to anything.
They've not been able to consistently establish their offense, and they've gotten into down and distance situations where they got predictable, just what Stanford wanted them to do.
The Cardinal, on the other hand, has been able to do almost anything it wants on offense, except throw deep, and they think they can do that too. Roberts, the only setback, gets the carry. A couple of 3 tough yards. Beekert, one of the inside linebackers, the first man to meet him. He got some help from McGee. Give him a gain of 3 yards, spotted at the 23, second and 7. Well, if you're Stanford, Steve, you just keep doing the same things you've been doing?
With a 14-point lead, yeah, you do. Don't change. But this, for a young football team, the first game, the confidence that they are building as a result of the score and the way they're playing really adds to their opportunities.
Columbus unloads quickly, throws behind his intended receiver, John Pinckney, who was running a little slant or a post. And one of the few bad tosses by Columbus in this game. The storyline from Boulder, Colorado is all Stanford. Milburn already has 133 yards all-purpose, including that one big punt return. Columbus has been outstanding, and Colorado has gotten into Stanford territory just one time.
Columbus has really played intelligent football tonight. He's not gone beyond his abilities. We've talked about he doesn't have a strong arm. You just pick your shots, take your chances, and he's not thrown the bad ball. He's thrown it away, kept him out of the bad play.
Boulder, Colorado. Stanford leading Colorado 14-0. The student athlete of the game is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. And tonight's recipient is Colorado offensive tackle Jim Hansen. He is an aerospace engineering major with a 3.98 grade point average. He was the engineering school sophomore of the year in 1989, the first time an athlete has ever won the award. The only reason he doesn't have a perfect 4.0, he got an A- in one course, said that will inspire him to do better. I remember when I got an A- once, it really inspired me, but it wasn't to do better.
I was thankful to get one.
Columbus against the 4-man rush under pressure. Tried to get rid of it. Looked like a pass, and it was. Ruled an incomplete pass as Alfred Williams was again giving Columbus trouble from the left side. Crowd wanted to fumble, but obviously Columbus was trying to throw it.
The pressure, they knew 3rd down and 8, it's a predictable passing situation. Williams goes around the outside. Well, I don't know.
No?
I don't think so.
Can't blame it all on Darren Baird, the right tackle, because Tommy Vardell, the fullback, picked him off.
I don't blame the Colorado fans for a little reaction.
Stonehouse kicking to McLuhan, and it goes out of bounds at the Colorado 38-yard line. It's a punt of 39 yards, but no return.
Is the quarterback making a throwing motion? I don't think so.
Well, you may be right.
I think he's fumbled.
It looked like Colorado got it back. I mean, Stanford got it back. Colorado did not recover.
I did make an A- in fumble recognition, though.
Apparently, I got a D. So with 9:46 to go in the half, Colorado trying to see what it can do here. Hagan, quick pitch to Bieniemy. Once again, Stanford did a nice job cutting off the outside to Sayon Albert. Wouldn't let him turn the corner completely, and then Richardson came back to help out.
What makes the play successful for Stanford? They're forcing the quarterback to pitch the ball quickly. That means they mentally, defensively, that their defensive backs know if they're going to get a pitch, they're going to be outside very quickly, so they're reacting very fast to get outside and string out the play. That's why they're having success. Now, if Colorado can run play action, give it the fake like you're going outside, pull back and throw the ball, those defensive backs will be in the wrong position.
Was a gain of 5. Bieniemy, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Dan Byers waiting in the hole and stuffed him. And again, Stanford is saying, we're putting everybody on the line of scrimmage. We're not going to let you run. And, of course, Colorado is saying to themselves, hey, that's what we do for a living. We run the football.
They're asking a lot of Darian Hagan to make adjustments. He's an option quarterback, and sometimes when he gets out of his element, like on a draw play or sometimes, he gets a little sloppy with his mechanics. That time, he didn't do a great job faking, didn't give his back a real chance to make a big play.
He has thrown 3 times tonight. Has hit 2 for 34 yards. Hagan under pressure, sacked. The first guy to get there was Tyler Batson, the right defensive tackle, and he came hard, held on, and got help.
You hear the reaction of the Colorado fans. I mean, that's part of their booing because they got third down play, gets tackled. But Colorado's in transition. This will help them in November, October, and hopefully January 1 when they have to throw the ball. You're going to have some growing pains when you're throwing the football, and you're going to get tackled and you're going to get sacked.
Ruin set to punt. Milburn waits at the 20. Another beautiful punt. There's another in a great line of tremendous Colorado kickers. This one will take the bounce and go all the way into the end zone. That one 62 yards with the roll. NFL Game Day makes its season premiere this Sunday. It's a new start time. Join us at noon Eastern. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Pete Axtell provide an hour's worth of previews, features, and analysis. Joe Theismann will be there, and he has an in-depth interview with probably the greatest player in the game, Joe Montana. Then at 7, back with NFL Prime Time. You'll see highlights of all the day's games as they tee it up for real this Sunday. Stanford ball with 7:38 to go first half. The Cardinal on top 14-0 over the heavily favored Buffaloes of Colorado. During the regular season last year, Colorado never trailed by more than 10 points. Milburn took a couple of shots as McGee got him. The ball was swiped out there by Beekert, but he was down.
Great backs make something happen when it doesn't appear there's anything there. He looks like as he runs up into the line, there's nothing. Then he breaks outside, at least giving himself a chance maybe for something. They were outside also, but the point is that's the difference in Stanford's offensive attack and the ability to do something, to turn the lights on when you've got a back in the backfield as exciting as Milburn.
2nd and 9. They'll give it to the fullback, Volpe. Got maybe another yard before Gary Howe brought him down, and it looks like Colorado has made some pretty good defensive adjustments right now.
That's Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator of Stanford. He's got tremendous experience in his ability to know how to handle the type of attack that Colorado has presented, and he really has this football team very prepared to play against the Colorado attack. And they have performed just as Willie Shaw wanted them to.
They have played exceptionally well in every single aspect of the game so far. And time running out in the first half, we're down to 6:19. 3rd and 8 for Stanford. And once again, Jason Columbus on 3rd and long. Doesn't. 6:15 to go in the first half. We are in sold-out Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. And the home fans a little stunned by what has happened. Players on the field waving their arms, trying to get the crowd into it. 3rd and 8 for Stanford. And right here, Columbus does not want to make the big mistake. Goes on the rollout to Lashley, and Lashley is nailed. Incomplete pass. A big hit by Eric Hamilton, the strong safety. The crowd, of course, wanted the fumble on that play, but ruled incomplete, and a big hit by Hamilton on Lashley.
What an intelligent call by Stanford. Get the quarterback away from the pocket area. That way, if the play is not there, he can throw it out of bounds or run it upfield. Excellent hit by Eric Hamilton, number 6. He's the nickel back. He was a quarterback in high school, but a very physical football player.
Well, that's a tough call as to whether it was a catch, too. Stonehouse with McLuhan waiting inside his 40. Low driving kick. Stonehouse having a tough time with that, but he'll get the nice roll. And it's down at the 35-yard line. ESPN's College Football Saturday will continue this weekend with a live triple-header. At 12:30, you'll see California against Wisconsin. And then at 4 o'clock, Number 9, Clemson against number 14, Virginia. The Cavaliers have never beaten Clemson in 29 years. Then at 7:30, number 1, Miami against number 16, BYU. The air will be full of footballs. Heisman hopefuls Craig Erickson and Ty Detmer. Over the middle to Pritchard. Never saw it coming. Pritchard covered by Richardson. And he looked a little lost out there.
Earlier I talked about Colorado running the option look, coming down the line of scrimmage and throwing the ball upfield. Watch it. There's the option look. Make a better fake, quarterback. There he is. Pritchard's coming right down the field, gets a little bump, poorly thrown ball, needs a better fake, but it's the right call because you're thinking option, you're making those people that are reacting quickly to the option, having to think pass also. That's what you want to accomplish.
Well, he did see it. He was screened by Richardson. Here's Bieniemy. Nowhere to go, cuts it back, hit from behind and dropped at the 36-yard line. Busalacci trailing the play. That's about the 3rd big tackle he has made. And Stanford simply shutting down the option offense.
Dave Garnett making the quarterback pitch quickly. In fact, Hagan is not coming out and really putting the pressure on those outside backers, but they're getting great reaction out of their perimeter people because they know they're forcing a quick pitch. They're going to be there. They're waiting on the pitch man to come out there. Hagan's got to do a better job. Come to the guy that takes the option and make something happen. Turn up field a couple of times.
Bieniemy, 12 carries, only 29 yards, and it's 3rd and 10 for the Buffalo. Here's the blitz. Here's where Hagan is very dangerous. On the run, Pritchard couldn't get it at the 10. He had a step on Albert Richardson, but Hagan on the run overthrew. Well, if you're going to have a drop-back pass, you need better protection than that.
Well, they did get forced out, but if you're going to force somebody out, let Hagan have the ball in his hand. Tremendous effort, individual effort. Stanford's closed in, and then the poise of the quarterback, rather than put the ball under the arm to try to make the big play. He's got 10 yards to go. He knew he couldn't get the 1st and 10, and throws it up just outside of the reach of the receiver.
Pritchard to punt to Milburn. This one, he might have a chance to return. Did it hit him? It bounced right in front of him and down by Colorado at the 30-yard line. Not a good kick that time by Ruin. And they are up 14-0. The Cardinal has 1 timeout left. They've used 2 already. Vardell, the single setback. Milburn on the wing. Columbus to throw. Milburn. In the open field, he can scare you to death. He gets to the 45-yard line. There's a flag down on the play. Greg Thomas made the tackle. Boy, he's at full speed first step after he has the ball.
Offensive pass interference on the offense. 15 yards, loss of down.
Damaging penalty. Yardage and the down.
Let's see if we can watch Paul Nickel, number 88. I can't see it there. There it is. Okay. Is that the penalty?
Could have been. You can't hit a man when the ball's in the air.
That's right. With the ball. Okay, I was watching him and not watching the football.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Ball spotted back at the 16. It will be 1st and 25. Excuse me, 2nd and 25 because it's also lost down. Columbus gives to Volpe on the draw. Volpe turned a 3-yard loss into a gain of 1. Volpe only needs 243 yards this season to be number 3 all-time at Stanford, behind Darren Nelson and Brad Muster. They have a stable of running backs. They have 6 guys that can play. And there are the career numbers on John Volpe.
Yeah, he was a 1,000-yard rusher back in 1988. Only played 2 games, was injured in 1989, but he's not quite back to the level of his '88 performance, and yet he's getting a lot of playing time tonight.
Stanford maybe not taking any chances right now. 3rd and 23. Clock is under 4 minutes. Columbus under pressure, hit from behind, sacked at the 21-yard line. Gary Howe and Leonard Renfro sandwiched him. And they'll have to punt.
But that's okay. Even though they went backwards offensively, they didn't get themselves in a situation where they turned the ball over. He didn't throw a bad ball in the situation. So that was smart quarterbacking, good offensive series, even though they went backwards.
Stonehouse to punt to McLuhan. Colorado with 10 men on the line of scrimmage. They don't put on the all-out rush. Stonehouse, nice kick. Drives McLuhan back to his 30. Flag down on the play. Will have an illegal block in the back or a clip, and it will push Colorado even further back. Twan Van Lee was down to make the tackle. And now we'll check the penalty for you.
Back. 15 yards.
Twan Van Lee, number 24, is just an outstanding special teams player. Great effort outside, protecting the perimeter, staying outside, making a bee right for the football. He was the starting strong safety coming in and makes a perfect play right to make the tackle.
And you saw the clip on the outside of him. So now Colorado starts in a hole at the 15. It is 1st and 10, however. The penalty was assessed on the punt. Option. Hagan keeps this time. Gets maybe 4, and Matt Borkowski, trailing the play, brought him down. Here is the limitation of the option offense. You're deep in your own territory. You're under 3 minutes to go, and the only thing you can really do is try to grind it out on the ground.
And this is a very situation that they had in the Orange Bowl against Notre Dame. They had to throw. They had to open up the attack. They couldn't get it done running the football. So this is situational football, exactly what they want. They've got to make something happen, but they've got to also establish their base game.
Hagan again on the option, pitches it. Stanford recovers at the 14-yard line. Hagan pitched it late and pitched it poorly. And Avila and Batson were right there. Sayon Albert came in trailing the play. He may have made the recovery.
Late in the second quarter, protect the football. You're deep in your territory. Don't get yourself in trouble. I don't think he's trying to pitch. I think the ball gets, as he spun around by someone inside, and I think the ball was spun loose. I don't think he was trying to pitch the football. Someone got their hand on the football inside.
That's Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator for Colorado, trying to fire them up as he saw the turnover. And they need to be fired up because Stanford will start at the 14.
In the Tennessee game, they turned the ball over 4 times inside the 40. They only gave up 1 touchdown against Tennessee.
Volpe to the outside. There's another flag down as Volpe gets to the 10-yard line. Dion Figures chase him out of bounds, and Volpe upset about it, and a flag goes down at the sideline. So we have a couple of penalty flags to check out with 2:28 to go in the half. No time to lose your cool at this point on either club.
We have 2 dead ball fouls. We had a pickup in the offensive line here. Personal foul, late hit here. Both penalties will be enforced.
Both penalties are enforced. That's 5 and then 15. So a 20-yarder will take him back out to the 35.
A little bit of extra action and effort by Mr. Volpe. A little reactionary. You've got to keep your poise. Now they've taken them out of the situation where a field goal, the 17-point lead is opportunity for them. You've got to maintain your poise.
Well, Volpe didn't take a swing at anybody, that's for sure.
Well, he may have discussed something personal.
And now he's got to go over and face Denny Green and tell him what he did. Coach, I didn't do anything. Absolutely nothing. I'm as pure as the driven snow. But this puts it back at the 34-yard line. 1st and 30. Milburn. Got a nice block, trying to get outside, cuts it back. And got to the 29-yard line. Tim James made the tackle.
When the coaches talk about Glenn Milburn, they say he has tremendous work ethic. He just works at getting better, tremendous speed. That time there was nothing outside for him. He made extra yardage with extra effort and really turned a bad play into a better play.
They are certainly within range of John Hopkins right now. The field goal kicker would be under 50 yards. Colorado, 7 turnovers in less than 6 quarters. Last year they had 13 all season. 2nd and 26. Robertson at fullback. He gets the carry. Picks up close to 5 as he got down to the 25-yard line. Canavis McGee made the tackle, and it looks like Stanford trying to set up a field goal opportunity and work on the clock. There is another flag down, however.
Second down, over.
Delay of game call will back them up 5 yards. And all at once, Stanford starting to make the kind of mistakes they did not make early.
Stanford does not have the kind of football team, Mike, that can sit back and get relaxed. They have to play intense. They have to concentrate on every aspect of the game because they don't have the physical talent and the ability really to match up with Colorado. They've executed. That's been the difference, their execution ability.
From where the ball is right now would be a 51-52-yard field goal attempt if they had to go for it here. 2nd and 31. Columbus wants that short passing game again. He's got his tight end over the middle, Paul Nickel. His first catch of the season inside the 25-yard line. Nickel, a sophomore, 6'4", 240. He's playing because Turner Bauer injured a knee slightly. May be able to come back in the game. Clock running, 1:03 to go in the half. 3rd and 20. See if they play it safe here. Although Columbus' short passing game has certainly been that. Roberts. Hole up the middle, dives forward. He lost the ball as they hit the ground. Is it a fumble or not? It is. Roberts wasn't hit by anybody. Chad Brown makes the recovery. It looked like he lost his balance and was just trying for an extra yard, dove forward, and coughed up the ball. His 2nd fumble.
Ellery Roberts, number 33, will fumble the football. No problem with the exchange whatsoever. It is just an effort trying to make something else happen as he's going down. He hits one of his own men. The ball pops loose. Turns it over.
A lost scoring opportunity. Stanford, with an excellent field goal kicker, could have added 3. Made it 17-0. Instead, Colorado gets another shot. Hagan all day throws and hits Rico Smith, and Smith gets out to midfield. Colorado hurry up offense after a gain of 30. The 2nd big catch for Rico Smith in this ballgame. It's a junior college transfer who has a lot of speed. Clock stopped with 41 seconds to go.
Great poise by Darian Hagan to step up in the pocket. He didn't have happy feet. He stepped up, stood tall at 5'8", 5'10", and made a good throw.
They run a play right now. Stanford only has 10 defenders out there. Here comes the 11th in a hurry. Hagan in trouble, runs out of it. 40. Got a chance. Hagan tripped up as he got inside the 15. The saving tackle by Jimmy Klein.
nightmare of every defensive coordinator. Hagan gets forced out of the pocket, so they're successful forcing him out, but there's no pursuit. There's no one to contain right there. He jumped inside Garnett, and now you've got a tremendous speed back in the open field running for the end zone.
Saving tackle by Klein. 27 seconds to go in the half. We'll be back in a moment. We'll update you on all the major league scores. U.S. Open Tennis Championship report. Chris Myers will have a look at Glenn Milburn. And then we'll be back to Boulder, Colorado, and Steve Davis will have his first half analysis of this one. Stanford leading 14-0, but Colorado threatening with 27 seconds to go. Smith and Pritchard are the wide receivers. Comes the blitz. Hagan throws too high for Hemingway. Covered very well by Sayon Albert. Straight drop back, no fake off the option.
Dan Byers, 55, is the only junior college transfer student in Stanford's alignment. That time the straight blitz right upfield, nobody stopped him, causes Darren Hagan to have to throw a little bit off motion and a little quicker than he wanted to. Excellent effort by Byers to get in his face.
Must have to have some pretty good junior college grades to transfer to Stanford. 2nd and 10. Hagan play fake this time. Under pressure, they got him. Hagan down at the 14-yard line. Ron George with his 3rd big play. And Bill McCartney says, call a timeout, will you? And they finally stop it with 13 seconds to go. Hagan seems to be so much better escaping the pressure as a rollout passer than he is a straight drop back.
Well, he's 5'10", and really with him being able to have the ball in his hands, it really is important to get him away from all those big giants in front of him. He's got guys 6'5", 6'6" rushing him, and a three-step drop. He really can't see down the field. That time they crowded in around him, and he couldn't go anywhere. But he's been most prolific when he's been able to get outside, see the big field, and all of a sudden big eyes out there, and, you know, he lights come on.
5'10" may be a generous measure.
It is a generous
measure. Hagan, too. 13 Columbus quarterback sneak after a great punt return, and Vardell a 2-yard run after a Colorado turnover. And that was the scoring, 14-0. Stanford blew what might have been a sure field goal a couple of minutes ago on the 2nd fumble by Ellery Roberts. They could be up 17-0. 3rd and 10. All out blitz again. Hagan trying to find time to throw. Throws, nobody home, it's intercepted. Scott in the end zone. Kevin Scott, a diving interception in front of Pritchard. Ron George was trying to put the pressure on Darian Hagan, and they turn it over again.
That illustrates sometimes when you try to put too much pressure to make a big play happen. He needed to run out of bounds. Don't blow the field goal opportunity. Kevin Scott's the best defensive back that Stanford has. Run it out of bounds. Don't throw the ball off balance at the back of your heel, and makes the interception for them. Takes them out of the field goal opportunity. See, he's throwing up in the air, off balance. No really velocity on the ball whatsoever. No chance to complete that pass.
Colorado has turned it over 3 times, 2 fumbles and an interception. Stanford could be up by even more if they didn't have their 2 turnovers. And we have 6 seconds to go in the half. And Darian Hagan now being attended to on the sideline, flexing that right hand. That is not a pretty picture for Colorado fans. Columbus just kneels down. They'll kill the clock, and Stanford will be delighted to go to the locker room against number 6 Colorado, leading 14-0. Chris Fowler, who must be shocked by this as much as anybody, is standing by with our halftime report, and we'll be back.
To want to televise their games, and that could impact the CFA contract with ABC, which is scheduled to begin in 1991. Kevin Arquette of the FTC explains the ruling. Kevin Arquette of the FTC explains the ruling now.
At trial, we intend to show that as a consequence of the contracts entered into between ABC and CFA, rights fees for college football telecasts are higher, fewer games are telecast, overall college football viewership is lower, and even the selection of games for telecast is not responsive to consumer preference.
But the CFA is not a cartel. Every cartel that I'm aware of, whether it's OPEC or any other kind of cartel, is interested in restricting output. In this case, restricting the number of games that would appear on television. And what CFA has been trying to do is exactly the opposite of that, getting more and more games on television to the point where we now are having the plethora of college games. You can, in this area, get 12 or 13 games on television every weekend during the height of the season.
Higman also said that the Federal Trade Commission's legal battle is, quote, a royal waste of the taxpayers' money. Well, if you watch the first half, Stanford and Colorado, you've seen the impact that Glenn Milburn can make. He's a guy that transferred from Oklahoma after the '88 season, sat out last season, and his first quarter as a Stanford Cardinal exploded for that punt return that set up the first Stanford touchdown. As Chris Myers reports, when Milburn went to Stanford, he was really going the place that he wanted to go in the first place.
He can run, but he can't hide. Glenn Milburn's on-again, off-again career with the Cardinal is now on again. On as in on display. 2 years ago, he played for the Oklahoma Sooners and sparkled as a true freshman, but transferred, sat out a year, and now big things are expected of this small but slippery back.
This is something that we've needed at Stanford for a while, a guy who can really light it up and cause some excitement.
Milburn has had to wait a long time before hearing the cheers at Stanford. In 1987, when he was recruited out of Santa Monica High School, both Stanford and Oklahoma were after him. He wanted to play in the Pac-10 and closer to home, but his stepfather was a big fan of the Sooners. So at the age of 16, Milburn had to make a critical decision.
I had wanted to go to Stanford, and there was a difference of opinion there. I wasn't exactly sure, though, so I went with what my parents wanted me to do, and then once I got to Oklahoma, I knew that it was a mistake.
Milburn says the atmosphere for academics wasn't right at OU. Although recruited properly, he wanted more of a student-athlete environment, but didn't want to sacrifice football to get it.
There is a stress on football here as well as Oklahoma, but I think here you're able to really get away from football in the off-season and really find yourself as a student and as an athlete. I think that's important for every student-athlete.
He's an industrial engineering major with a near 4.0 grade average. He'll team with another transfer fullback, Ellery Roberts, in the Cardinal backfield. The two aren't just pals by accident, though. Roberts jumped the University of Miami for similar reasons and similar goals. Football success at Stanford.
When we first got here and we were roommates during our freshman ball, when we transferred in, we both thought about it. You know, there were articles in the paper about, you know, both of us coming from Miami and Oklahoma were really kind of opposing teams. But, yeah, I think it's something we definitely sat up at nights and thought about.
They've had an impact, I think, just from the programs coming from Miami and Oklahoma, being very good students, but also bringing high expectations of success with them individually for our program.
Milburn and Roberts are practically inseparable. On the field, the 6'1" Roberts blocks for the 5'9" Milburn. Even at team meetings, they are side by side. And on the loose, they are big men on campus. Sort of.
Not many people know about Ellery and I. Again, I might walk into a classroom. I don't look like a football player, so they're not going to suspect me of being a football player.
Soon they will, as his skills conjure up images of former Stanford star Darren Nelson. Milburn and Roberts also conjure up images of courage for giving up so-called big-time football for big-time academics and making it work. From Palo Alto, California, Chris Myers, ESPN.
On BYU in Provo last year, Erickson, despite missing 3 games, threw for more than 2,000 yards. He is a Heisman candidate, as is this guy. Ty Detmer of BYU, number 2 in the nation in total offense. He will have to beat Miami and do a good job, though, to continue his Heisman candidacy. Before that game, Virginia and Clemson. Virginia led by Sean Moore, who last week threw 3 touchdown passes, 250 yards against Kansas. But he will have to face that guy's defense. Ken Hatfield of Clemson, the battle that should decide who'll win the ACC. 5 first downs and 57 yards total offense for Long Beach State against a very, very tough Clemson defense last week. 59-0 was the final. A college football menu kicks off 11:30.
React before the play is even run. They make the quick pitch from the outside linebacker. The enemy's got it now. He's got 1 guy on 3 guys, and he's going to be strung out to the line outside the line of scrimmage. He's going to go out of bounds.
It's been a tremendous performance for Stanford so far. We'll be back with the 3rd quarter kickoff in just a moment. Colorado is not dominating. Really, the numbers are close, but you didn't expect that.
Well, they really are, and Colorado has not been able to establish the kind of game they wanted to. Stanford has. The problem with Stanford is their turnovers. They've made 2 fumbles and 1 interception, 40 yards in penalties. Field position is the other key. Look where Stanford's had the ball starting average for the ball game in the first half versus where Colorado's had to start. Stanford has been able to do exactly what they set out to do.
And one thing missing off those 2 pages of stats, the 74-yard punt return by Glenn Milburn that set up the first Stanford touchdown. The Cardinal will kick off. John Hopkins to kick to Eric Bieniemy and Mike Pritchard. Bieniemy has to let it go over his head, and Hopkins has done a great job in the kicking department for the Stanford Cardinal. Steve, you always talk about adjustments at halftime. What does Colorado have to do?
They've got to establish better presence on the first down play. Except for the big play they had in the first half, they've averaged only a little bit under a yard and a half on first down play. They've got to be more productive. Get Darian Hagan out, rolling away from all the activity where he can throw or run. The option play could be more effective. Be able to throw on first down. They've not been able to accomplish that in the first half.
You saw the first half numbers on Hagan. He now has 4 interceptions for the season in just 6 quarters of play. Bieniemy, straight ahead power football. Klein came up after he bounced off a tackle, picked up maybe 2. Stanford with a hard-hitting, gambling, hustling defense.
If you're Stanford, you just can't afford to make the kind of mistakes that they made in the first half. The fumbles, the interception, the 40 yards and penalties. Stanford has to play a perfect second half because Colorado will have success here in the second half.
Ron George has had an outstanding night for the Stanford Cardinal. He's number 29, an outside linebacker. Already 6 tackles. Here's the option. They go with the first option, Hemingway, and John O'Tunney is waiting for him. Now, it looks like they're going back more to the true option. That's the first time the fullback's gotten the ball, Steve.
First way to stop the option play is that first effort right there. He locks it. Bushalashi, number 63, the nose guard, gets double team and rolled up, but he strings it out and causes a traffic jam, and they back up the fullback.
And here's where Colorado does not want to be. 3rd and 6. Pritchard and Henry are the wide receivers. Here goes Hagan. First down. To the 44-yard line. A gain of 20 for Darian Hagan out of Los Angeles.
Vanderpool, number 72, the right tackle, makes a great job to hold up Ron George and keep him completely out of the play. Just fighting and making, completely eliminating, and then the pressure forces him out of the pocket, and he's able to use his speed. That's the kind of talent. Be able to move, not be afraid, so intent to throw the ball that you can't do the things that you do best, Darian Hagan. Get out there and run.
Stanford was afraid of the big play capability of Colorado, but they said if we can hold the big plays under 40 and not give up the touchdown, then we've got a shot. Hagan off play action. Going for Smith, he couldn't hold it. Scott got there at the last moment and may have caused the ball to come loose, but Hagan put that one on the money.
What makes this an effective pass? Number 1, you've got man coverage. Number 2, it's a play action or option type look. Your corners are almost, they get lulled to sleep sometimes. Perfect throw, just can't make the catch.
Rico Smith should have caught that ball.
But everybody is thinking option play. Boy, really threw the ball well for the long throw.
Scott got there at the last moment and breathed a sigh of relief. He has started the last 31 games for the Cardinal. They have excellent defensive backs. Bieniemy, nice opening up the middle, cracks across the 45 to about the 48-yard line.
Bieniemy's not really been a factor in the first half of this football game. That was another element that Stanford was very concerned about, of being able to control him. They're going to force the ball out of Hagan's hand, give it to Bieniemy, and they've been able to control him reasonably well tonight.
33 yards, but he's gotten them on 14 carries, so obviously he hasn't been able to break anything. Hagan has had the only big plays, a couple of runs, a couple of passes. And here's the third down conversion story for Colorado. Not much. They face 3rd and 6 here. Straight back to throw. Now Hagan, almost like a quarterback draw, hit from behind by Borkowski, and he brought him down shy of first down territory. It will be a 4th and 1 for Colorado. They gambled once before and didn't make it, and here comes the punt team. And the crowd does not like the decision.
You don't want to give Stanford, who has had momentum, they've got confidence, you don't want to give them the ball at midfield. They've been starting out at the 45 all ball game long. Back them up if you can. Make them go long distances.
Scott will go back to field this punt. Milburn had done the entire first half duty. And Ruin set to punt in Colorado territory. Tries to pooch punt this one. End over end, and got the bounce. Out of bounds at the 2. Beautiful job by Tom Ruin, 45 yards, and a coffin corner kick to boot.
Isn't it amazing? The fans were booing. All of a sudden, he kicks it out of bounds about the 2 or 3. You know, football's a fun game, except sometimes these 50,000 make it not so fun.
It's amazing what a short memory they have. Yeah. I mean, the job Bill McCartney and his kids did last year, the only undefeated team during the season, and they played for the national championship. And now your first game at home, and you're booing everybody.
Well, what's important is that they've got to make Stanford execute. They've had some miscues late in the second quarter. Now make them go 97, 98 yards to score. Make them execute their offense all the way down the field.
Volpe and Vardell are the running backs. Volpe just trying to get a little maneuvering room close to the 4. And tempers are heating up a little bit out there. Colorado trying to play defense with a little more emotion. Chad Brown getting up off the bottom of the pile. Brown, the tough customer, a young man who played in the Orange Bowl last year, had a broken collarbone, played the whole game with it. And when he took off his jersey, the bone was nearly protruding through the skin. That's tough. 2nd and 8 for the Stanford Cardinals. Vardell got about 3 to the 7. Alfred Williams on the stop, along with Deion Figures, who was closing quickly from the corner.
When Stanford needs big, tough yards inside, they go to Bob Whitfield, number 70, a true freshman last year. Big size, 6'7", 300 pounds. I mean, he will slobber knock you, and he pancakes somebody right there. Is that how? Yeah.
Excuse me, I missed that last one.
Slobber knock.
Okay.
Pancake.
That sounds nasty.
Put you on your backside.
3rd and 5. That must be an Oklahoma expression.
It is. It's generic.
And Columbus to throw from his end zone. Vardell can't get away from Williams. Great defensive play by the senior from Houston, Texas. Well, they have adjusted very well to that short passing game, trying to hit the backside of the backfield.
And most importantly, you know, Stanford doesn't want to make the mistakes, and Colorado knows that they're not going to take any big chances, and so they're playing tough defense, make them punt the ball, they'll get it back.
Stonehouse will punt to McLuhan, who's waiting in midfield. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for Colorado. They don't come hard, but almost got there anyway. McLuhan comes up, lets it bounce, and out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Colorado will have excellent field position when we can. Mike Patrick and Steve Davis with you from Boulder, Colorado. Glad you could join us for our special Thursday night edition of college football. And the Stanford Cardinal continues to shock number 6 Colorado 14-0. Buffalo football. 45-yard line of Stanford. Pritchard goes to the deep back. Then he throws back. Hagan wide open. To the 30. To the 21-yard line. John O'Tunney made the saving tackle. Pritchard, who was the tailback a week ago and gained 217 yards, goes to tailback, runs left, and throws back to Hagan.
You just had to believe that Colorado was going to finally take advantage of this hot pursuit, making them pitch the ball quickly. They came backside. Nobody is there on Darian Hagan, and he's wide open. Excellent throw by Pritchard. That quick reacting defense, they finally found the trick to come back and find out where the bodies weren't.
Bieniemy in there behind Hemingway in the eye. He'll get the call. Straight ahead. Again, not a lot of room. Coming up hard, Sayon Albert to safety. And Matt Borkowski, who's seen a lot of action in this ballgame. Bieniemy, 15 carries, 36 yards.
And if that last play meant anything for Colorado's attack, now Stanford can't fly quite the way they did. Now they're going to be looking over their shoulder, and they can't go to where the play appears to be going on first glance.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Hagan runs the option. Forget it. Boy, he was just plastered. Garnett was in there. Busalacci and John O'Tunney. Willie Shaw deserves a lot of credit for what he has done tonight. Of course, when you gamble like he does, you take a chance that you're giving up the big play, but you have to do what gives your kids a chance to win, and he's done it.
They really felt like they had to put 9 men, just really frustrate Colorado in running the football, make him go to the air and beat them in the air.
9 times tonight, Stanford has stopped the play in the Colorado backfield. 3rd and 8. Bieniemy. Straight ahead. Touchdown. For Eric Bieniemy, and with 8:04 to go in the 3rd quarter, Colorado finally gets on the scoreboard. And I think they crossed them up on that play, Steve. Jim Harper for the point after. He's got it. Harper, a tremendous kicker out of LA Valley College in Transfer. But it was the Eric Bieniemy 18-yard run that puts Colorado on the board.
George Hemingway, the fullback, has made outstanding blocks tonight. Watching right here on Sayon Albert, number 16, that gives Bieniemy the opportunity to get into the end zone. He just walled him off. The fullback in this eye-bone attack really has to go block just like a fullback in the eye attack or the wishbone attack, and he just knocks him to the ground and breaks into the end zone.
8:04 to go 3rd quarter. It's a 7-point game. And Milburn. And momentum, Old Mo has finally turned. Milburn, 5 yards deep, and Scott tells him to down it there. And now the pressure is on Stanford to do something on offense. Bieniemy caps it with an 18-yard run, 45-yard drive in 4 plays less than 2 minutes. And you can see the confidence grow in Colorado. Bieniemy, 55 yards. He'll need only 1 more to become the 3rd leading rusher in the history of Colorado football. Milburn and Vardell are the backs behind Jason Columbus, and the crowd is in it now. Play action. Columbus tried to hit Vardell. He was leveled just as he got it off. It looked like Gary Howe, the right tackle, came from the blind side and just took the ball off target.
Watch how number 95 beat Whitfield, number 40, and be able to put the pressure and pull Columbus down. Well, this is the time your quarterback's got to really be cool. You got to lead right now. Keep control. Don't panic.
Howell was brilliant in the Orange Bowl last year. 4-man rush, time to throw. Gets it out to Milburn. Excuse me, to Vardell. And Vardell with a juggling catch out to the 23. Tim James, the strong safety, came up.
One of the things that Colorado really concentrated on and what Tennessee revealed is in their pass lanes and their pass rush. They looked kind of tired in the 4th quarter, and they didn't have have the kind of enthusiasm. But right now, they're in cooler temperatures. They're really aggressive. They're second efforts, and they're really putting the pressure on the quarterback.
This is a big play. 3rd and 7. Stanford at its own 23. They haven't been able to do anything lately. Columbus scrambles, throws short and incomplete. Tried to hit Nickel as tight end, and Biekert was right there. Bieniemy licking his chops with an opportunity to get back in there. Stonehouse to punt. McLuhan waits at the 40. Barely got it away again. McLuhan signals fair catch. Makes it at the 36-yard line. You know, Steve, one of the things that I think is really important for Colorado here in the second half is the senior leadership that Bill McCartney was telling us about. 5 four-year seniors, 8 fifth-year seniors that are starters, and 10 redshirt seniors who are in their 5th year who are backups. And you have that kind of commitment to a program, you've really got something, one of those great intangibles.
Great national championship level teams have to have that kind of leadership, and that's what Bill McCartney has said this team has to offer that 89 had to develop. 90's got it built in.
Stanford has not had a first down since the first quarter. The momentum is all Colorado. Bieniemy on that straight ahead play again. Gets about 3. Busalachi was in on the tackle. And Bieniemy now the number 3 running back in the history of Colorado football. And before he is done, he only needed 647 yards coming into this ball game. He should be number 1 before half the season. Hagan on the option, got a lane, tripped up from behind, and once again, it's Busalachi. He's had some big tackles tonight. 6'4", 276, a sophomore from Santa Ana, California.
Busalachi is one of the 9 players that is his first time to start in this particular position. He was a former offensive lineman, not real fast, but has excellent strength, and the techniques they're using for him tonight give him a chance to make those kind of plays.
3rd down, 8 yards to go for the Buffaloes. Straight drop by Hagan. Room to run, he throws instead, completes it to Pritchard at midfield. Pritchard taken out of bounds by Kevin Scott, but he's got the first down. Gain of 13.
What is more important than anything else is it's 3rd down and long. Colorado's got to go throw the ball. Down and distance situation says do it. And he shows the confidence, moving around, throws a strike for the 1st and 10. And that's what pleases offensive coordinators.
I think the other important thing on that, Steve, is here is a guy who's been a running quarterback all his life. He had a chance to run, but he threw the pass instead and got the necessary yardage. Ball at midfield with 5:41 to go, 3rd quarter. Bieniemy. Gets 6, 7, dragging players with him. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Borkowski and Tunney on the tackle for the Stanford Cardinal. Here's the call.
An illegal motion on the left side of the offense.
Now that's what hurt Colorado in the first half.
What Colorado has done, they've reduced their offensive package in the second half. They're going with their full loaded I-bone backfield, power, smash ball, and then when they've got to throw it, when down and distance dictates you've got to throw, they do it. So they're really saying, we're going to take it to you physically, we're going to control the ball, sustain drives, and we're going to make something happen. And that's what they're doing, and they're doing it effectively, except for the mistake.
There are going to be people who criticize Bill McCartney. There were some last week said he threw the ball too much in Tennessee. But if you want to go to that next echelon, you have to be able to do more things than Colorado did last year. Hagan will just take it out of bounds as he got down to the 36-yard line. And Hagan's athletic ability and his instinct for running the football is starting to take over.
That'll be on the highlight film for Colorado and most defensive coordinators' nightmares. Watch Ron George, 29. He gets locked inside. He's got outside at containment. He breaks down, and Hagan's able to do the things he's best at. Run outside, get in the open field.
Stanford trying to stiffen. Colorado driving to tie the ball game. First down at the 36. Bieniemy. Big hole. Albert can't get it. Touchdown. Yards for Eric Bieniemy. And if you can't fool them by sliding up and down the line, just go straight ahead and pound them. Harper will try to add the point after. That would tie this game at 14. Harper is 5 for 5 this year. Make it an even half dozen.
You can't touch what you can't see, and you can't tackle what you can't catch. And watch this. John O'Tunney, 95, right there in the middle of your screen, gets blocked inside. That frees Bieniemy, and he jumps outside, and then it's just a track meet. Great effort, good block on Tunney to keep him inside. He's a great cutback blocker. He knows the seams. He did it. Touchdown. We're going to be blitzing. They're going to have big plays. This is the time that the real pressure is on a young defense. How they respond. Don't roll over and die. Don't make the same mistake twice.
Milburn and Scott. Milburn lets it go and then downs it. Nice kick by Harper. The scoring drive, 64 yards, took them less than 2 minutes, and Bieniemy ate up the last 36. The Stanford Cardinals so impressive in the first quarter when they racked up 126 yards in offense and had 5 first downs. Since that time, no first downs and only 30 yards in offense. So the adjustments that we talked about Colorado making have certainly been solid. There's the rushing total for Stanford, 9 yards second half. Columbus to throw. Volpe couldn't keep his balance, but he made the catch and got it out to the 27-yard line. Volpe may have been able to get another 10, 12 yards if he doesn't stumble. So they're certainly not putting the offense in a shell. They're coming out with that short passing game.
Well, they've got to stay with their offense. This is what they're going to live with all year long, so they've got to be able to complete those short passes, be confident even at the 20-yard line to throw them, find the open areas, throw safe passes, and quarterback go execute.
Milburn is in along with Bardell on 2nd and 3. They'll go to the eye. Milburn, room. To the 40-yard line, a first down for the Stanford Cardinal. Not a bad idea to get him the ball.
No, exactly. They want to control the football. They want to keep Darian Hagan in an offense that's found at least a combination that's working for them on the bench. So control it, mix it up, do the things that you were successful with early in the ball game. Let your defense regroup on the field.
On that last run, a fine block by the freshman left guard Brian Cassidy, 6'5", 300, the only newcomer along a solid offensive line for Stanford. The first down for the Cardinals since the first quarter. Milburn in the eye again, trying to pick his way through holes. Got a couple of yards, and Beekert was there again, number 19.
One of the question marks that Colorado had were their 2 inside linebackers, Brown and Beekert, number 19. Watch him identify what the play is and then get away from the block quickly. Got off the block very quickly from Cassidy, and that's the key in playing good linebacker. Get those blockers away from you. Keep them away from your feet and then go and make the tackle.
Beekert was an outside linebacker. They moved him to inside this year. You don't get a lot of playing time at outside behind Williams and McGee. Bardell and Volpe in the split backfield. for Volpe. Dives for all he can get out to the 47-yard line. Good play by Volpe. He was double-teamed out there and split the defenders. Hamilton and McLuhan.
Again, Stanford giving themselves the best chance to have confidence, get the quarterback out of the pocket, away from the pressure. Colorado's taking a beeline towards that inside and really putting pressure inside, and then a safe pass that's not going to get you in trouble.
And if nothing else, right now they have a field position advantage because they have the ball out near midfield.
And they're giving their defense a chance on the sidelines to regroup.
3rd and 3. Milburn can't hang on. And right with him was Chad Brown, the inside linebacker. That's a tough assignment at 6'3", 230 to go out there with Milburn. But even if he makes the catch, it looks like Brown was in position to stop him shy of the first down.
One of the things that Stanford didn't want to do is they didn't want Milburn in the ball game really any more than 50 or 60 plays. He appears a little bit tired. He's made some mistakes, not quite the effort.
Stonehouse to punt McLuhan, waiting at his 12. Not a real good kick, but away from McLuhan. Takes the bounce inside the 20 and out of bounds. For those of you who just joined us, Stanford had it all at the beginning. Columbus, after a long punt return, went in on a 1-yard run. Bardell made it 14-0 on a 2-yard run. That followed a fumble. And then Colorado got untracked. Bieniemy from 18 yards to cut it to 7. And then Bieniemy tied it up from 36 yards out. And with 2:23 to go in the 3rd quarter from Boulder, Colorado, and a sold-out Folsom Field, we are tied at 14. Fake. Hagan deep down the middle for Smith and overthrown. Now that looked like a good call. They had been so successful on that straight-ahead play to Bieniemy that they faked it and went for the bomb.
Again, you've got to be impressed with Darian Hagan. Again, he has a tendency to want to run the football, but then he showed the poise to step up, find the open man, and throw the ball. Do what the offense is dictating. And right now, Colorado, really all it is after a first half, you make your adjustments, you create a personality of your team, what you think works, and then you go with it and you stick with it. Right now, they're going with something they feel real comfortable with in terms of executing their offense.
He's 4 out of 11, 74 yards, and that one big interception at the end of the first half. Bieniemy, little counter action. Couple did not make the 20-yard line. And will bring up 3rd and long for the Buffaloes. John O'Tunney was on the bottom of the pile again. Get the feeling Stanford's defense may be getting a little tired, too. Third and 8. Clock running, 1:42 to go, 3rd period. 2-man rush, and they go with a screen to Bieniemy. Byers missed it. Tunney got enough of him to bring him down, but it's a first down. A gain of 11. Sort of a strange call to work against a 2-man rush.
On the previous play, Mark Vanderpool busted, made a mistake. Watch him this time. Ron George will get blocked by Vanderpool, and then Bieniemy, watch that, holds him out of the play, keeps him away, and then Bieniemy, a lighter, stronger guy that wants it a little bit more than he did last year, maybe. Great effort, good call, screen pass. I mean, that's just tremendous effort. He stopped right there, and then he broke.
Bieniemy, they'll try that play up the middle again. Puck makes the tackle. Number 31, a sophomore from Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
The coaches were really impressed with Eric Bieniemy. He came back, his weight's down, he lost about 10 pounds, just tremendously quick. His enthusiasm level was an all-time high. I mean, they just think he is Mr. Competitive. Mr. Competitor, he just really wants to go out and make it happen. What he does physically is one thing, but he's a great leader on the field.
Gained 1,200 yards in 1988. Last year, 5 games till he broke his leg. Still had nearly 600 yards and was able to come back and play in the Orange Bowl. 2nd and 9. Stanford still daring them to throw the football. And coming from behind, Aaron Rembus, number 78, the nose man, wrapped up Hagan before he got 2 steps.
Aaron Rimbus, number 78. Really nobody picks him up, and he just steps up into the hole. There's a little seam, and if there's nobody there, then you just step up and make it happen. Someone busted. It was probably Garton, let him slide inside and make the tackle.
Matt Borkowski is limping off the field for the Cardinal. Backup defensive right tackle. Borkowski, 6'4", 270, a sophomore. He's made some good plays tonight. Got dinged a little bit on that one. And it will bring up a 3rd and 11. Colorado, since the momentum has swung their way, not making the mistakes. And Bill McCartney watching the clock tick down. You know he's got to be relieved, having been down 14-0, now having tied it up after 3 periods of play at home in front of 51,000 fans. Stanford, big play coming up, 3rd and 11 for Colorado from its own 31 as we start the 4th quarter. Hagan on the option. Bieniemy. First down. A little different look, Steve, than they had shown the whole game.
Darian Hagan does, watching this time, see, he takes the ball to the man that's got him and forces the pitch. That eliminates that guy, and they've got everybody blocked. 22 Hemingways out there making a play. The receivers are making a block. So that was the kind of ratio that you want to create in option football.
Bieniemy now with 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hagan back to throw off the option look. He's buried. Sacked at the 38. George was in there again, along with Kevin Puck.
Colorado gets in that kind of play where it's play action, Darian's got to deliver the ball very quickly because he's only a couple of yards off the line of scrimmage. He's got to throw it up pretty quick, and that time he just got buried with the pursuit by the Stanford defensive line.
They are changing up their looks, though, giving the Stanford defense a little more to think about. 2nd and 14. Bieniemy. Not this time. Puck again right in the hole and brought him down at the line of scrimmage. Puck lost his starting job to Myers, but coming off the bench, he has played very well.
Colorado going 2 tight ends and just really driving right up at them and trying to get them in down and distance situations to their advantage.
And they have it now, 3rd and 14.
Yep.
Three-man rush. Hagan with all day to throw. Wide open is Pritchard. To the 33-yard line, brought down by Sayon Albert. A gain of 25. And the one thing that has hurt Stanford tonight, they have not even tried to put on a pass rush except for the blitz. They're rushing 2 or 3 people.
Darian Hagan is gaining confidence with every throw. This time, a better fake, puts the ball on the hip, looks downfield for Pritchard. Good stance, good throw. And watch Albert Richardson not break down, not there, a lot of cushion, and then force the ball to Albert to make the tackle.
Bieniemy. Once again, Puck comes through and brought him down along with Aaron Rimbus. Boy, Puck is just shooting the gap along with Tom Williams, 36. They're just flying to the ball, and it seems it's gotten to the point now, Steve, they were having so much success earlier. Now it's hit and miss. They get them for one, then they miss them the next time.
Well, they've got them out of sequence. That's the very thing that Colorado's wanted to do. Before, Stanford was getting the kind of plays and combinations that they wanted defensively out of them, and now they've got Stanford guessing.
2nd down, 13. Bieniemy on the pitch. Once again, able to string it out. Sayon Albert with an excellent job out there. And Stanford well schooled against the option. If you remember the Notre Dame game last year, they did an excellent job against the option in that one. And Albert out of Phoenix, Arizona, big safety, 6 feet, 185.
This time they're expecting the option play. Albert Richardson's on the fly. He's going to make movement as soon as they see Hagan going one direction. The problem is that time, again, Hagan's not going to the end man on the line of scrimmage that's got pitch, the quarterback responsibility. And so that's why they string it out.
Colorado facing one big third down after another. This time 3rd and 10. Play action. Hagan over the middle. Drop! Rico Smith wide open at the goal line. And the Colorado players can't believe it. Richardson beaten badly, and Hagan just bounced it off his junior wide receiver.
Well, there's nothing you can say in a situation. The ball was perfectly thrown. He's wide open. There it is.
Jim Harper.
Lack of concentration, not putting the ball away. Sometimes you just can't believe it.
Jim Harper will try a 50-yard field goal. In junior college, he kicked one from 60. Low line drive kick, no good. So Stanford dodges 2 bullets. One, a sure touchdown. The other, a 50-yard field goal that was no good. For the 6th-ranked Buffaloes are in a fight for their lives. They're tied with Stanford at 14 all. Colorado just missed a sure scoring opportunity on a drop pass at the goal line. Now let's see what Stanford can do. Columbus dumps it off to Milburn. Got a block to the 40, 43-yard line. Beekert brought him down along with Alfred Williams. Very close to a first down.
Stanford has done a great job all night of running this 49er-styled offense, taking the short passing game, forcing people to defense the perimeter of the defense, forcing man coverage, you know, and I just think that I wonder if they're not setting up something. They've not thrown the ball downfield deep. I wonder in a situation with 11 minutes to go in the ball game that they don't try one deep and try to test those perimeter people of Colorado.
Milburn's had a pretty decent night in a Stanford uniform. 38 yards on the ground. He's caught passes for 27. Had a punt return for 74. It is a first down at the Stanford 42. Milburn tried to change direction and went down because Joel Steed, the nose man, had beaten his block and was right in his face. Here's the storyline from Boulder, Colorado. It's been an exciting game as underdog Stanford has been throttled since the first quarter. Bieniemy has gotten untracked. He's over 100 yards. So is the Colorado offense as a whole. And Williams making his presence felt on defense. 2nd and 13. Columbus with plenty of time, throws complete to Walsh. Again, close to another first down, this time at the Colorado 47. Beekert covered him. And you know, we haven't seen a lot of Ellery Roberts since his 2nd fumble either.
No one has said that Columbus, the quarterback, has a strong arm, but he has a smart and an intelligent arm and a very accurate arm, and he throws it right in. Again, they're spreading the linebackers, Brown and Beekert, out and finding that open area. Tennessee revealed that there was a soft spot in the middle, and Stanford has tried to exploit it here in the second half.
Walsh has 3 catches for 57 yards. Again, he's playing because Ed McCaffrey, the starting split end, has backs passing. And that last pass from Columbus wasn't really pretty. It came in end over end, but it got there. And it's a first down.
You don't get points for being pretty. You get points for being accurate, completing the pass.
Columbus, a junior out of Lake Oswego, Oregon. Starter in 88, threw for almost 1,400 yards. That's 6 interceptions the entire year. So Stanford moving closer to scoring territory. We're down to the 10-minute mark. Bardell, the single setback. Milburn is on a wing. Columbus lost a shoe, throws high. Walsh, what a catch! Oh, what a grab by Walsh at the 41. One of his linemen may have stepped on Columbus, and he walked right out of his shoe.
Colorado had it defense. I think that's Williams, number 94, that raised his arms, caused him to have to throw it real high. Was it Renfro? Renfro 99. Watch him. He's 6'5". He gets his arms up, and watch Columbus have to throw right over his arms. But then great effort by Chris Walsh. One-handed, catches it in bounds.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Columbus to throw again. Milburn to the 39-yard line. They'll still need about another yard and a half. Chad Brown, who has had the uninviting assignment all night of trying to cover Milburn out of the backfield. It's like to be in team meetings. Just say, this guy is a great player. He's a game breaker. You're an inside linebacker. He's all yours. 9 minutes, 25 seconds to go from Boulder, Colorado. We are tied at 14. Mike Patrick and Steve Davis with you. Glad you could join us on Thursday night. It's been a beauty. 3rd and 2, Milburn into his own blocker, then he is nailed. James came up and clobbered him just as he got near the sticks. He banged into Cassidy, and you don't go too far because Cassidy's 6'5", 300. Slows your momentum just a touch.
In talking to the offensive coaches, Cassidy's been prone to make a few mistakes, and this time he just doesn't get the quite angle that he's supposed to and forces Milburn, hits him, and causes the play to go bad.
4th down and inches. And they're going from the 37-yard line. Milburn and Bardell are the backs. Bardell looked like he got it. From where the official from the far sideline came in to mark it, even though Greg Biekert was there in a hurry, it looked like they marked it past the strike. No hesitation on Denny Green's part. And they'll bring the sticks in.
Short down situations, you've got to get penetration. Bardell's the bigger back of all 4 of Stanford's back, 232, and he just finds a way to get edged out there close to that 1st and 10. Excellent drive effort by Colorado's defensive front.
Half the length of the football. Stanford keeps the drive going and the clock moving. We have 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game. Columbus had checked with his coaches at the sideline. Look at the emotion he showed coming back in. He's, let's go, guys. They have not won a game on the road since 1987. Would this be sweet? Milburn dancing through a hole, not much. Gary Howe, the right tackle, had his arms around him, and Biekert hit him from the front. Colorado has made quite a comeback in this game. They were really outshone by Stanford. Their emotion and everything in the first half, down 14-0, made some mistakes, but they have shown you what a class team they are. They had Tennessee come back on them a week ago. This drive from Stanford has taken more than 3.5 minutes off the clock. Columbus with good protection to Bardell at the 35. Once again, a very short, just picking away passing game. Chad Brown made the tackle. Colorado's adjusted very well to it. Gets frustrating on defense, too, when they're throwing little dump-off passes.
That's one of the things that they really have worked on, is just be comfortable with picking and taking those short gains and cause the defense to get a little anxious, a little bit involved in the play where they want to make something happen, maybe make mistakes, and that's exactly the design of the offense.
Columbus has hit his last 5. He faces 3rd and 8. From this point, it would be a 52-yard field goal attempt to take the lead. Can't afford a sack. Dumps it up. Milburn inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. And Milburn has been a tremendous weapon coming out of the backfield, and Columbus has found him often enough to keep Denny Green very happy.
Give great credit to the Colorado defensive front for their pursuit. They're really rushing their extra effort, but Columbus, the cool, collected quarterback, finds Milburn. He's in the flat area. He's working on Hamilton, the nickel back, and he's just not there fast enough. A great effort by the quarterback to find the open man, stand tall, and deliver the ball under pressure.
He played as a true freshman at Oklahoma. A couple of plays from scrimmage, mostly a kick return. He's out of there right now. And Volpe is in. Volpe has the ball on the delay. Fumbled, got it back. Holy cow. Volpe lost it as he tried to regain his balance. Gary Howe hit him. Howe's had a series of hand injuries. Volpe's been injured too. In the Orange Bowl, all Hal did against Notre Dame, 7 tackles, 2 for losses, a sack, and a blocked field goal. Not bad for a national championship effort. Lastly is in. Volpe will come out on 2nd and 10. Clock becoming a factor. 5:44 left. Bardell had a hole up the middle, dives forward to the 10. Once again, Chad Brown hanging on to his ankles. Really, 5 minutes and 29 seconds, which is what the clock reads right now, is an awful lot of time, but not necessarily for an option team. And this is why Bill McCartney wanted to put in the passing game to be more dangerous, because you can do it so much quicker.
Well, these are the very circumstances, as you said, Mike, that really created the need. There's no such thing as one-dimensional football. You've got to be able to throw the ball and have success and get great yards quickly.
3rd and 5. Bardell. Stacked up and in a hurry, Leonard Renfro on the bottom of the pile. 285-pound redshirt freshman. And Stanford has a decision to make. Do you go for the field goal on 4th and 4? And they already have John Hopkins in the ball game. Hopkins, an outstanding field goal kicker. Hit 18 of 31 a year ago. This will be from 27 yards out for the lead. Steve Smith, a quarterback, is his holder. Got it. And the Stanford Cardinal has its only impressive drive outside of the first quarter. And they put 3 on the board to lead 17-14. Our game, Steve and I will be selecting the Visa Player of the Game from each team. And I think we have a pretty good idea already just who it might be. Colorado with its back to the wall now with 4:17 to go. They need 3 to tie, a touchdown to win. Bieniemy and Pritchard are deep, and the pressure is on the coaches on the sideline. Tough way to make a living. Hopkins, whose field goal put his club ahead and has put most of his kicks in the end zone, booms another one. Bieniemy 5 yards deep, he'll down it. So Colorado has to go 80 yards for the win. Steve, 4:17, probably not the amount of time you'd want just to grind it out with the option.
No, they can't afford to do that, but really, that's not what they've tried to do. They gained the tie with a little bit more power football and really 2 tight end looks and doing the things that they felt real comfortable with, but they've been able to throw the ball effectively. That was the only substantial drive Stanford was able to mount in the second half. So Colorado's moved the ball in the second half. Now they've got to move it.
Colorado has all 3 timeouts remaining. Pritchard is the only wide receiver. Bieniemy the deep man in the eye. Hagan pitched it. What a defensive play. Stanford has done a job on the option tonight. And coming up from the corner, it was Kevin Scott who made the tackle on Bieniemy. And Ron George, the outside linebacker, was the guy who messed up Hagan.
Stanford has been moving quickly. They've been anticipating the perimeter play. Watch Hagan right at the last second. That's the kind of option quarterback. That's what will make him maybe the best that's ever run the option play. If he puts the kind of year together this year that he had last year, he'll earn that respect.
Better than Steve Davis?
Much better than Steve Davis. I can only dream of some of the things that he is doing.
2nd and 6. Bieniemy on that straight power play has been so effective for him in the second half, out of bounds to 32. It's a first down. Sayon Albert, who has had a very active night for the Stanford secondary, makes the tackle. Clock stops with 4:06 to go.
This is the question mark that Colorado is really asking itself. They want to compete at the level Nebraska and Oklahoma consistently. This gives them the opportunity. They had a chance for the national championship last year. They won the Big 8 conference crown. Now go prove it. Go sustain your ability to be a top-flight national championship level playing team.
And they tied their first game. They could ill afford to lose one here. Over the middle, too high. By the tight end, John Bowman. Big break for Colorado down to the 38-yard line. Great concentration and a gain of 28.
He is not the player Colorado thought would give him a big play when they needed it. But watch the effort, the concentration, one-hand tip drill, and he gets the defensive back out of the way. He's not very prolific as a runner, but the big play when he had to have it.
Ball thrown behind him, able to turn his body, tip it in the air, and keep it alive. Bieniemy. Nice hole up the middle, down to the 32-yard line. Albert made the tackle again, along with Vince Odepau. And it hasn't taken Colorado very long to get the ball deep into Stanford territory at the 32.
You're going to see them put the ball in the hands of their best back in pressure situations when you've got to have it. Give it to the people that can deliver. And Eric Bieniemy's the guy you want to put the ball in his hand.
3:15 left. Colorado driving, down by 3. Bieniemy again, tripped up this time. And the man that got him was Tom Williams, the linebacker, number 36, laying flat on his back, reached up a hand. Got some help from Bucelaci. There's Williams.
Watch Williams penetrate right there in front. They're going too tight in to try to eliminate that kind of pressure that they've had to look at all night long. Balance Colorado up where they can't take shots at the quarterback on the option play and protect him a little bit more.
2:35 to go. 3rd and 2. Bieniemy. First down. Lowered his head and pounded down to the 25. Albert took the brunt of the shot. Still made the tackle. Clock stops while they move the chains. Still plenty of time.
In the Colorado offense, the fullback has to make critical blocks. George Hemingway, 22, has made many blocks tonight, and he just lays out Dan Byers, 55, the linebacker, inside linebacker for Stanford. They've got to be able to block that linebacker, and that's Hemingway's assignment.
Hemingway was switched from tight end. He's 230 pounds. Hagan to Bieniemy again. More running room. Fumble! Still loose. Colorado had a shot at it. Russ Heasley threw his body at the ball. It squirted loose, and another battle ensued. And Heasley got it back. Big break for the Buffaloes. And the second time tonight that Bieniemy coughed it up.
Said at halftime, boy, you can't make these mistakes. They had 2 fumbles and an interception. You can't make it at this 4-down zone area. The ball effort by Bieniemy, and the ball pops loose, and they are so lucky. You've got to be lucky sometimes.
I didn't think the way Heasley went down on that thing, I didn't think there'd be any air left in it. He's 265. He just did a belly flop on the football. 2 minutes left. Spotted at the 11. 1st and 10. That could have been the ball game. Hagan to Bieniemy. Gets to the 9. Nice job by Kevin Scott on the outside. Clock running, 1:36 to go, and now there's a timeout as there is a Stanford player down. We'll check on the condition of Albert Richardson when we come back. Highlights of this, and it has been a beauty. Major substitution for Stanford. Albert Richardson helped off the field. Gary Taylor, number 15, a junior, has come on to play cornerback. And that is a big part of the defense in stopping this option game. Bieniemy spins off the tackle, but not a second. Stopped by Twan Van Lee as he reached about the 7-yard line.
Now Colorado can go what they're comfortable with. The power game, the option game, the things that have made them a great team. They don't have to be multiple dimensional right now. They can go and play smash ball and go try to power it in. And maintain the football. They've got to keep the football.
3rd and 7. They must reach the 1 for a 1st down. Hagan, naked bootleg, got away. Down to the 5, down to the 1, dives. Hagan caught in the backfield almost for a 5-yard loss. Twan Van Lee had him dead to rights and couldn't hold him.
What people will learn about Darian Hagan, only at 5'10", 185, you cannot tackle him with one arm. You've got to get him wrapped up. The speed, his leg strength, he breaks literally 2 tackles. Nobody just grabbed him around, wrapped him up. They were just trying to one-arm tackle him, and he almost got in the end zone.
My apologies to Twan Van Lee. It was Ron George who had him for the loss and couldn't hold him. And now, with 40 seconds left, they will measure for the first down. They had to get to the 1, and Hagan was diving for that orange marker. This would bring up 4th and inches if he didn't make it. And he did not. What do you do, Steve? Field goal ties it. You'd have 2 ties in 2 games. I don't think they'll do that.
I think the way they played in the second half, they've got to think that they can go and get it.
It's very simple. You get it or lose.
Well,
although they have all 3 timeouts left.
The other thing is they turn the ball over deep in the territory, but I think the point is that they've had tremendous confidence. They've got to go for the touchdown. They've moved the ball well. They've not been stopped.
12th play of the drive. 4th and inches. 40 seconds left. Colorado down by 3. The enemy did not get the touchdown. Looks like he got the first down. Excuse me, Hagan on the keeper. Tunney was the first of many to hit him. They'll unpile and check the sticks.
Got to fire off in the snap, and the key for the defense is you've got to stack them up, stuff them. Boy, I tell you, just
boy, it's man to the 1, Steve. I thought he got to about the half-yard line, but apparently not. And the crowd reacting to the spot. This will be close. 33 seconds left. First down, Colorado. Holy cow, what a way to finish a game. And the Buffaloes want a timeout to talk about that last 3/4 of a yard that would win the ball game. 3 seconds left. 1st and goal inside the 1. They have put on an impressive drive that has taken 3 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. They will get 4 shots at the goal line. The way that line can fire off the ball, you have to like their odds right now, don't you?
oh, they've been able to move the ball. They haven't been stopped yet. Yes, they've got the confidence.
Hemingway didn't make it. And they will use their 2nd of 3 timeouts. Hemingway hasn't had much of an opportunity to carry the ball tonight. He has done a brilliant job as a lead blocker. And now Colorado is down to 1 timeout.
If you're Colorado offensively in goal line situations, you've got to protect the perimeter so that no bad play happens to you. That time Ron George is crashing down. 2nd down, one of these 2 plays, they've got to go outside. If they don't get it inside this time, watch them go with the option play and string it out. They've got the ability to turn it up.
They gained about the length of a football on that play. Now they have a half-yard to go. 2nd and goal. 30 seconds left.
You always wonder, goal line, why they don't go to the outside play. You see them so many times just walk in. Well, they're afraid of the bad play. They don't want to lose the bad play or make a bad play, so that's what they're concerned about. If they can get it inside the easy way, that's best. But then it comes down to that situation where you got to go make it happen, and you got to go take a little bit more chances, go outside, take the option opportunity.
Baseball tonight is next, immediately following our telecast. And, of course, if you're Colorado, if you do run to the outside, you may take the chance of taking yourself out of the position to score a touchdown where you would have to kick a field goal to tie. And nobody wants to start 0-0-2. Well, maybe there are a couple of teams out there that wouldn't mind starting 0-0-2, but not Colorado.
No. Now, they obviously need to win this football game. That's the...
Hemingway didn't make it. Stacked up at the goal line again. Dan Byers, 55, came over the top and put a helmet on it. 1 timeout left, and they've used it. Now it becomes extremely interesting. No timeouts left. If you run, how quickly can you unpile? And do you have time to get off another play? Or do you make sure you throw it and stop the clock if you miss?
Well, I don't know that the throw is the place they really want. Again,
yeah, I don't think so either.
That may be creating too much situational football for them. But I think what they really are after is the option play this time. They've got to go make it happen on the outside. They've been stuffed 3 times. Tunney may be able to really anticipate the jump of the running back and hits him right in the mouth, right there to stop at the line of scrimmage.
Tunney from the right side, Byers from the left. They met at the running back. And it is 3rd and goal from a foot away with 22 seconds to go. Colorado has used its last timeout.
If they go option, Stanford has been guessing all night. I mean, they're taking chances. It's a risk, blitz defense. They've taken a lot of chances. They've made some correct decisions. They've also had a couple of busts. They're going to have to take a chance here, especially to protect the perimeter play.
The play that has worked the best is out of that eye-bone formation, their power formation, and giving the ball on a straight handoff to Bieniemy. That has worked exceptionally well here in the second half. The last 2 plays, they went with a fullback, and he gained 2 feet on 2 carries.
Really critical for the offensive line. If they go outside, don't let anybody shift inside. Don't let anybody break the line of scrimmage or get in between your linemen. You've got to really secure that offensive line and give them a wall it off and give the quarterback an opportunity to execute the play.
No timeouts left for Colorado. 3rd and goal from a foot away. Stanford leads by 3. Bieniemy, the deep man in the eye. Bieniemy, Hagan on the play fake. He just throws it up in the air, and it's incomplete. Bowman diving for it, but with him was Taylor, and Kevin Scott was putting the pressure on Hagan. Well, they did it. They went wide, and they did throw. I think Hagan would have preferred the first option to run it in.
Well, it's a bootleg play. They really expect Hagan to be all by himself. And except for Kevin Scott in his face, they had the opportunity, but great coverage, reaction ability. Well coached. Gary Taylor was there, the 5th defensive back, to make the play and make it difficult to complete. Hagan was not able to throw the ball direct.
Doesn't get much better than this. 4th and goal. You win or you lose on this play. Bieniemy. Touchdown! The Stanford coaches and the players are really upset. The official on the far side of the field called the touchdown. Stanford didn't think Bieniemy got in there. And boy, was it close. Harper for a point after. What an unbelievable goal line stand by Stanford's defense.
All the ball has to do is break the plane. Bieniemy blocked by Hemingway. When he turned his shoulder, to fall down into the end zone, the ball breaks the plane. Not right there, right there. He's breaking the plane.
And where the ball was showing was to the official on the far side of the field, and he's the man that made the call.
When he turns right there, the ball breaks the plane. Great effort by Stanford.
Well, it took longer than Bill McCartney had hoped for, but they got it. And total dejection on the other side with Denny Green. And Eric Bieniemy has all 3 touchdowns. Milburn will be deep on this kickoff with 12 seconds to go. Do you go with a little squib kick, or do you take the chance to kick the ball up in the air to a guy like Milburn?
No. You kick it, you squib it, you do anything. Don't give him a chance to run the ball back. Keep it on the ground, bounce it around, but don't give him a chance to run the ball back.
Of course, the extra point meant, even with some kind of great return, that Stanford would not be able to go for a field goal to tie it. They're down by 4. Harper to kick off. There's Milburn. He's deep with Scott, but they're waiting at the 10. I don't think they expect to get the football. And I think they're right. Squib kick. They'll let it bounce. Scott let it go right between his legs. That's a live ball. He's got to cover it. Scott let the ball roll. Almost recovered by Colorado. Holy cow. Well, those short naps are dangerous. Bill McCartney says, how can 1 second go off that clock?
He didn't touch it.
Well, then even 1 second can't go off.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, he wanted a lot more to go off the clock.
Boy, what fantastic effort by both teams. Colorado to hang in there, and 8 plays down, really about inside the 10-yard line, and Stanford to fight them back every time.
Just a tremendous college football game. And Columbus now with 12 seconds and 80 yards. And the sack at the 10. Buried by Gary Howe. Stanford uses a timeout to stop the clock. That will leave 5 seconds left. They'll go with 3 wide receivers to the right. Columbus throws the deep sideline, intercepted. Picked off by Dave McClellan. McClellan back to the 10, steps out of bounds at the 5. And it's over. Colorado showed what a veteran ball club could do. Outplayed, down 14-0. They just hung in there and came back to win it in dramatic fashion. Tonight's Visa Players of the Game from Stanford University. Glenn Milburn, 157 yards in total offense, including a 73-yard punt return. From Colorado, Eric Bieniemy, 149 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. As part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes. We'll be back to wrap it up from Boulder, Colorado in just a moment.
4 years. Today, Miami's quest begins, and BYU is first up to take a swing at the chance.
We're #1 in the nation. I think every team would like to get first shot at Miami, and as it turns out, we get first shot at them.
On center stage, Heisman favorites Ty Detmer and Hurricane Craig Erickson. While Act 1 in the ACC is an orange clash, Clemson has ruled for years. Virginia says enough is enough. In Houston, enough is never enough when it comes to the run and shoot. But Brett Johnson had enough, so he chose a Spartan existence. While some guys went looking for pro paychecks but couldn't make the grade. For 25 years, he's made the grade, Paterno, same as he ever was. Well, this guy is back where he started, from Heisman quarterback to head coach. Plus, Mountaineer fans are up in arms. There's trouble brewing in the Nar Hills. Next on College Game Day.
Now, College Game Day with Chris Fowler and Lee Corso.
And good morning. Hope you're rested up. Get ready for a college football triple header today on ESPN. We'll set up the day for you in the next 60 minutes right here on College Game Day. 18 of the top 25 teams take the field today. 4 of them right here on ESPN, including #1 Miami. The Hurricanes opening their title defense against #16 Brigham Young from Provo, one of college football's most beautiful settings. It starts at 7:30 Eastern. You like passing? There'll be plenty of it, featuring two of America's best quarterbacks, Craig Erickson and Ty Detmer. High-impact game in the early Heisman race, obviously, and we'll explore that a little bit later on. Also, Heisman candidate Sean Moore and number 14, Virginia, facing a Clemson defense as fearsome as any in the country. Ken Hatfield's Tigers, 9th ranked. They allowed just 57 yards total offense in a shutout of Long Beach State last week. Clemson has never lost to Virginia, 29-0, the most one-sided series in all of Division I. But the battle cry in Charlottesville, it's about time. A boost for Virginia. Chris Slade, their best pass rusher, is back after missing the opener with a bad angle. Now, both these games, there's so much at stake so early in the season. Games like these can pose big problems, but also present big opportunities. The springboard theory has worked before.
1988, Major and the Mountaineers clear a big hurdle early, then ride a fairly easy schedule to a perfect regular season and a showdown for number 1. It's a pattern both Clemson and Virginia believe they can follow. But first, the focus must be on what's fast become a fierce, if one-sided, rivalry. The Tiger good old boys versus the Southern Preppies of UVA.
What's the difference between a typical UVA player and a typical Clemson player?
In the past, I would say our IQs.
Clemson folks point to the difference on the field. The Tigers have never lost to the Cavs, 29-0. They don't like the height Virginia's getting these days, and they don't believe the ACC power is shifting to Charlottesville.
You know, I'm sick and tired of hearing, what Virginia said they're going to do to us, and, I say,